On the gridiron, success is measured in a 60-minute gauntlet of athletic resilience and mental fortitude. The ability to outplay and outthink one's opponent is the difference between that sweet victory and crushing defeat. And on these 64 squares, much is the same. It's a battle of will, grit, and determination, minus the bone-crushing hits, of course. But what happens when the two cross paths? This.
Oh my lord.
BlitzChamps is back, but this time the spotlight shines on the University of Michigan, as their squad of Wolverines turn their attention from the field to the chessboard.
We just started.
Instead of end zone, it's end game. Instead of quarterback sacks, it's queen sacks. Instead of check downs, it's checkmates. All the metaphors you can handle. With some serious bragging rights among teammates on the line, the locker room trash talk just might be a little elevated this season. So, put the cleats and pads away and get ready to lead your 16 chessmen to glory. This is BlitzChamps Michigan, and it starts now.
About 40 miles west of Detroit lies the beautiful city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, home to the Michigan Wolverines of the University of Michigan. The football team is exceptional. It is renowned. It is historic. And these 8 players will be taking part in a chess tournament today. I'm Grandmaster Robert Hess. Alongside me is International Master Casa Corley, my good friend, a big sports fan as well. Casa, how pumped are you for today's action?
Robert, it is such a pleasure to be with you today. We have amazing talent on the gridiron, and we're going to see if they can match their abilities on the chessboard today. And, you know, bragging rights matter, so it's just going to be really interesting to see how these guys play today.
Yeah, you know they want to win this event because they live with these other players. They eat all their meals together. They practice together. So let's talk about the field because there are 8 awesome competitors taking part in today's BlitzChamps Michigan. We start at the top with Ladarius Henderson, nearly 1,000 rated in Chess.com Rapid. Some of these players quite experienced. But Casa, what stands out to me most is that most of this is offensive players, with the exception being Joey Velasquez.
Yeah, I really anticipate a few upsets today. You know, some of these ratings, you know, it's almost like Dennis Green back in the day, you know, you are what they thought they were. You know, these guys, I'm not so sure we are what the ratings say. So it's going to be really interesting to see whether their ratings match up with their actual play.
Well, speaking of play, there is a phenomenal football player that has led the charge in bringing this together. That is Cornelius Johnson, one of the most highly rated wide receivers in college football. A season ago, he had 6 touchdowns, probably the 2 most important for Michigan fans being those against Ohio State. 160 yards, 2 tutties against Ohio State. I mean, this is an exceptional player on the gridiron. Casa, he'll have to bring us all to the chessboard today.
Hey, getting it done when it counts, right? I mean, 2 touchdowns against Ohio State. Those are the games that matter. Those are the matchups that matter. And again, bragging rights will matter. You know, as you said, folks are eating together, hanging out together. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes.
Well, on the football field, there's a position that's quite underappreciated these days, and that is the running back. But somebody who we'll have our attention on is the running back for the University of Michigan Wolverines. That is Donovan Edwards. He is a top 10 running back a season ago. 991 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, 200 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. He was only a sophomore. So Casa, I mean, he has already been a star for the Wolverines. I think that maybe puts a target on his back.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. When I think of running backs, I think about ground and pound, wearing people down over time. I'm wondering with these 5-minute games that we're going to have, whether or not he's going to be able to stylistically play that way in these chess games.
Yeah, it's unknown, at least at this point. We did look through some of their games, but the competition today is right in front of them. Literally, they are playing from the same venue. And somebody who is new to the Michigan campus is the top seed in this event, offensive lineman Ladarius Henderson. Casa, we were very impressed with his rating, nearly 1,000. You were talking to me before we got on the show about him pursuing that master's degree in social work. He was a captain for Arizona State. So, I mean, he is quite a big name, a big pickup for the University of Michigan football team. But he's also the highest rated player amongst their football players in this chess field.
Folks don't really appreciate this enough, but offensive linemen are some of the most cerebral folks on the football field. And so basically, I'm not so surprised that he's the highest rated player in the group because he's having to think about winning his matchups on the field constantly when pass rushers are just basically trying to sack the quarterback.
Yeah, and he's a Sicilian player. We were looking through some of his games earlier. He plays C5 on move 1, so that shows that he has a bit of chess experience, and he's going to need to use every bit of experience if he wants those bragging rights, if he wants his introduction to his new teammates to be not just the newcomer, the newbie, but in fact the champion of the chess event. So we'll bring up our bracket here because we start with these 4 matchups. Ladarius Henderson, he's at the top. And Casa, I'm just going to say it. You know, in all my years of broadcasting, I don't have favorite players, but how can Dale Chesson not be your favorite? You can't spell chess without Chesson, so he has a big matchup ahead of him, both in terms of the figure of his opponent, the stature, the offensive lineman, but Dale Chesson, come on, that's for the win.
Hey, we'll give you a little reprieve here. You know, again, you can't also spell chess without Hess, so hey, we'll allow it. We'll allow it this one time and proceed onward.
Well, we have some other great matchups. Donovan Edwards against Joey Velasquez. That's linebacker versus running back. So, Casa, you were mentioning trash talk. I think that one is one to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in practice there are instances where Joey V is asked to fill the A gap, and Donovan Edwards is coming right behind through that line, and we'll see if he's able to meet the moment in this game.
And of course, Cornelius Johnson, he is known to the chess community. He hopped on for BlitzChamps a week ago. But this is different than BlitzChamps. First of all, this is college football players, but also the format of the event is different. The players, they decided on the format. It was strictly their choice. They wanted to play a best of 4 game format where the first to 2.5 points wins. Typical chess scoring, a point for a victory, half a point for a draw. But the biggest number that we can possibly see today, Casa, is 0 seconds added per move. They start with 5 minutes. They never get additional time. There is no increment, so that means we'll probably see a good deal of flagging.
Yeah, look, they elected to play without increment, and so they're going to have to deal with the consequences of that. And I think it's going to be really exciting for us as audience to actually watch and sit back and enjoy the show. The other thing I would be remiss if I didn't mention is that there are 4 games played, so almost like, college football rules, there can be tie breaks or overtimes, if you will, and maybe we'll see some of those today as well.
Yeah, college overtime is awesome. I think it's better than NFL overtime. But for now, the overtime that we'll see will be duked out on the chessboard. So I'm really excited for these players to get set to start their games. Word on the street was they were actually at a photo shoot before this. So the players were trickling in, not all of them at the same time. So clearly a big day in Ann Arbor.
Hey, when you have those photo shoots and, there's some guys that just are fighting to get into the middle of the picture. Some guys don't mind being in the outskirts. I'm not so sure there wasn't a little tussle to figure out who was going to be in the middle of those shots. And also, I feel like we should give a shout out to Cornelius Johnson, who was the guy that essentially rallied a bunch of these Michigan guys together to play chess. And, it's a really good way to, again, test a battle of wills. I know Coach Harbaugh is very, very enthusiastic about having his guys competitive even in the off season. So this is another way they can kind of, get those juices out there.
Yeah, and they had a great season a year ago, making it to the college football playoff. It was a disappointing end of the season, but as we saw from Cornelius Johnson's stat line against Ohio State, I mean, those are the matchups that matter to get you to the Final Four, the playoff in college football. So this team is exceptional on the field. They bring in some new players like Ladarius Henderson. He's coming from this Arizona State University. He was a team captain there. So that's some veteran experience. And we're not going to dive into the X's and O's of the football field, but that is cool to see that, one of his first things on campus is playing in a chess event. That's how popular chess is, even for these college athletes who are super busy studying and playing their sport.
Yeah, no question. I think these days, chess has really taken off. We've seen it time and time again, and athletes love to play. They love to compete, much in the same vein There are just a lot of different domains now where chess is at the forefront of what these guys are talking about, thinking about, and it's just exciting to see.
Yeah, I mean, Cornelius Johnson, and we've been giving him the credit, he really did put this together. He was saying that his team was buzzing. They really wanted to get in on the action. And we see some of the members of the team and this tournament. That is Donovan Edwards, the running back who had nearly 1,000 yards rushing a year ago. He is a fantastic player, somebody who will be playing on Sundays in the future if all goes well for him. And, well, he's playing today. And it's a different game than he may be used to, that he's been racking up the accolades for, because I'm pumped to see him play.
Yeah, I'm actually a little curious if Donovan knew he was playing Joey, a little bit before, getting on screen here, because if he did know, I'm sure there was some trash talking involved, and there might be actually some during the action.
Yeah, and there's going to be some fun trash talking between those two. Joey Velasquez, he's from the state of Ohio. He picked Michigan over Ohio State. He's also a two-sport athlete, so it's incredible that not only is he on one of the best football programs in the country, he also is on the baseball team. So he's a linebacker. He will have to tackle Donovan Edwards in practice, but he also plays baseball, so multi-sport athlete.
So I'm wondering what it's like when he goes back home for a little bit, because those guys in Ohio must be asking some questions. His buddies must be like, Joey V, what's going on? Why did you choose Michigan? And then he's like, did you see what happened last year?
Yeah, he is a force on the field. And, well, somebody who brought this all together, to bring the likes of Joey and the rest of the crew, is Cornelius Johnson. It looks like he's on a phone call. That can't be happening during the actual chess, but he is setting everything up. He's probably getting the last members of the team to the venue because they're coming from a photo shoot, and Cornelius, he brought everyone together. He made this happen, so you can't give him enough shout-outs.
Hey, he's going to be a fifth-year senior this year. Veteran leadership, folks. We talk about it all the time in the higher leagues, but in college as well. Veteran leadership is huge, and he is the veteran. So I'm not surprised that he might be rallying the folks together for another doozy.
And it's a big season ahead for him, just like the rest of the team. I mean, NFL dreams for many of these players, and he's projected to be drafted in one of the early rounds. He could increase his draft stock. That would be awesome to see. But for now, he's going to be playing chess. That's what our focus will be on. We could see behind the scenes a little bit. I laughed a little because we could see the players kind of talking to one another, getting ready for their games. But that's a lovely element of this, Casa. They will definitely be trash talking.
Oh, yeah, no question. I mean, I would be trash talking myself if I was playing in person, frankly. And at the end of the day, the draft combine is known kind of in a notorious way, actually, for asking players all manners of questions and testing them, not just in their physical ability and mental ability. And what better thing to also have on your resume than being a chess player that's competed in events on Chess.com? I think any football team, any organization, professional organization would be like, okay, this guy's a very cerebral individual. We should look into him.
Yeah, but Casa, let's be honest. You and I go way back. We've been friends for a long time. We grew up playing in the same chess events, playing and watching sports. You hate it. Be honest. You hate it when they use an unnecessary chess reference and oftentimes a mistaken chess reference in commentary. Let's be real. Come on.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, how many times I've seen over the years, this is a chess game right now. And, it's funny being, the chess players that you and I are, Robert. Sometimes we'll be the judge of that. We'll be the judge of that. But I actually think we'll throw in some football references that maybe some of the hardcore football guys might question. But hey, this is the cross pollination. You gotta take it and leave it sometimes.
I definitely embrace it, but one I can never get over is stalemate. Stalemate ends the game, so you can't be in a stalemate with the game continuing. And I know that I'm nitpicking. I'm just maybe getting on some people's bad side, but it always has gotten to me, Casa. It's just you can't have a stalemate and the game continues.
Fair. I actually haven't considered that one, but that is a fair. In fact, I must say, will we get a stalemate today? What do you think the odds of that are? Because, again, one of the things we see when you're up oodles and noodles of material is sometimes you just stop looking for checkmate and you start capturing everything, and that's when keeping it real might go wrong.
Yeah, and some of these players have played hundreds of games online. Others have played very few. In fact, they played their first rated games quite recently online. So they play in person. They may not be as used to playing online. And as you said, I mean, when you're up too much material, you think, no matter what I do is good. But that's those moments when you have to look, am I checking the opponent's king? And then we can't forget, there is no increment. So you don't have time to wade through the complications and find the accurate finishing touch. Sometimes you just have to move, and that's when stalemates do occur, like we've seen in BlitzChamps and many of our big creator events.
Yeah, I think one other thing I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention is in the off season, football players are trained on, good habits and fundamentals. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to be preaching fundamentals when we watch these games today. What matters? Castling can be really helpful. Having control of the center, maybe connecting your rooks and getting those guys talking to each other. I think the winner of this event is going to be the one that shows the best fundamentals over the course of multiple rounds. So that's what I'm going to be looking to see. Which guy is going to take their fundamentals that they have on the football field and apply some of them to the chessboard.
And chess is an objective game, so we were talking about how Donovan Edwards, Joey Velasquez, those two go at it on the practice field, but you have to leave all that behind. You have to find the best moves, because it doesn't matter how you feel about what happened in last Thursday's practice or earlier today at the photo shoot. You gotta focus on the moves, on the game in front of you. And so we've seen some nice play from the likes of Ladarius Henderson. We were looking through some of his games earlier, so this will be an awesome matchup between these 8 players, and we'll see who comes out on top. So it's a great event. There is money being given to charity. That's, of course, an amazing element of these types of competitions, where the players, they come together. They may not be from a traditional chess background. They may not even have been playing chess for all that long, but they are playing, and it must be nerve-wracking as well, Casa, to play chess, a game you don't have maybe that much familiarity with, even if you enjoy it in front of so many people.
When's the last time you've played over the board, Robert, while also, putting the moves into the computer? It's a rare thing, actually. So I think it's something that even as players that play quite a bit ourselves, we might not be as familiar with. I know that these guys are not going to have a ton of experience there. So just the being in person but still playing online dynamic is going to be an interesting one to navigate.
And I've told this to all the people that I've ever worked with in BlitzChamps. It's courageous. It's not easy to step in front of so many people where there are going to be some naysayers, some critics, just bashing your game. But it's for a great cause. And speaking of that cause, we should let you all know what charity the players have chosen to donate the money to. It is the Uniform Funding Foundation. Tough, great name. And Chess.com will be donating $10,000 on behalf of the Michigan Wolverines team. It is founded by a UMich football alumni in 2018. It provides underserved sports teams with uniforms, equipment, and mentorship. Football, basketball, soccer, over 4,000 student athletes have been served. So, Casa, it's really a great organization, and I love the initiative, and I love the fact that all these players, they're playing chess, and money is going to such a worthy cause.
Yeah, people forget sometimes that, most folks don't make it to collegiate Division I sports, but sports have such great value in society, especially among our young people. Learn so many lessons about life, about competition, about teamwork, and it's just really great that these guys are essentially investing, putting back into their communities in that respect.
Yeah, and it's clearly a mission that's near and dear to all of their hearts. They play sports. It's from Michigan alumni. That's where they are. So it's really awesome to see that money will be going to people who definitely could use it. And these players, we could see them off screen, everybody. We could see them laughing, chatting with each other. Some of them, they are still waiting on the last players to get set up here. But Cornelius Johnson, he is the person who made this happen. So we are going to continue to shout him out. But I think that when we talked about this earlier, you mentioned how offensive linemen, oftentimes overlooked, underappreciated. I wonder if they may get that sense of, hey, do you want me blocking for you this season? Do you want me to protect you back there, Donovan Edwards? If you do, then, hey, look, come on. Do a guy a favor. Let me get that dub.
Yeah, just another word about offensive linemen there, because I don't think people realize it. Offensive linemen are expected to win their matchup more so than any other position on the field. they're expected to successfully block a guy that is just as large as them, or sometimes even larger, and have it and have a win rate of like 80, 90%. That is hard to do. So I know in order to do that over and over again, you have to have precision, you have to have focus, you have to have discipline. And I think Ladarius is going to show us that today.
Can we just be honest? That is a big man. That is a very large human being, and he is very forceful on the football field. He clearly can play some chess. He is nearly rated 1,000 on Chess.com, and as he gets set up there, we'll love to see his moves do the talking. And I just am excited to see these people go at it. So it's going to be really fun to watch these Michigan Wolverines football players play today.
It's so funny because, I watch college football, and just thinking about how their season went last year, I mean, they really took down all the important games, right? Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, all dubs, and they did make it to the college football playoff, and it really felt like a transformational year for the program, and so it really is interesting to see how they're going to ride out that momentum, and I know that, they have more eyes on them, than ever before. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, and it certainly will be. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on the line. And we just tuned in for the first moves of this game, and that move gets a question mark. The players can't see the casa, but forks galore, and he missed it. Knight C2 check would have been a family fork.
Yeah, Cornelius was in a bit of trouble there. Bring his queen out pretty early, and that is a family fork, a royal fork, queen, king, rook. Fortunately, Tristan did not play Knight C2, and now Cornelius realizes and darts out of the way.
Yeah. His queen was under attack. He was forced to move back, and he goes to D2, which is a great square covering that fork on C2. It wasn't just the queen. Also, the rook in the corner would have been hit. So, Casa, honestly, this looks great for White. So, if you just started here, you'd be like, oh, White's played a nice game, has this kind of bind in the center with the pawns. But there was a moment there where the queen was lost.
Yeah, I think Cornelius realized what happened and kind of adjusted really quickly, just like a nice, juke in the open field. And I always love to point out that if you're 2 diagonals away from a knight, it can't harass you for 3 moves. So really smart move by Cornelius with queen d2. But we got plenty more moves coming out here. Tristan's trying to break out in the center. Cornelius trying to figure out, can he take that pawn? Which way to take that pawn? So we'll see how it develops here.
Yeah, he just grabs the pawn in the center, and now Tristan's played c4. So you're right, you called it. He's trying to get his pieces active, throw them forward, but you have to prepare them. And look at Cornelius, is grabbing pawns. He's up 2 of them, and he just develops his knight out to f3. He can push this pawn, and as soon as I'm saying it, he does it. He pushes pawn to e5, and so he's just winning a piece.
Yeah, the only question is, this king is still in the center on e1, so I'm going to see if Cornelius is going to castle relatively soon, because he's got what he came for as far as the material is concerned. King safety is going to be a huge component. And rook e8 check right there. This king is vulnerable. I think the material matters less than it actually should if this king is going to stay in the center.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We've seen this in BlitzChamps and things like that. But look, bishop block and the king castles. It's not 100% safe. There's some open diagonals for black to work with, but white is a piece and a pawn ahead. So this is great news for Cornelius Johnson in their first game. And by the way, the players, they can talk trash. And they are talking trash. So we will tune in throughout the day to hear them talk to each other. Some of it will be friendly, I'm sure. Others will be a little bit combative. But right now it looks like Cornelius Johnson is in good shape. Casa, I could see this going in black's favor with that white king being pushed to the corner.
I'm impressed with Tristan right now because his rooks are connected. He has bishops that are basically splintering the white king side. And so basically, Cornelius is under some fire.
I want to get aggressive because we don't have a lot of time.
And we can hear Tristan. He's talking about the clock. Not a lot of time. I want to get aggressive. Look at Cornelius. He's asking, it sounds like, about the broadcast, right? It's even not saying anything about the game. So, are you guys live? Everything good? He's still organizing.
Trying to clear the board.
All right, so
game.
Cornelius is smart to trade, but that king is a little bit airy.
At this point, moving on.
It's true. I could see a back rank checkmate happening if white isn't careful.
This is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
Gotta get to endgame. Like, we gotta get there fast.
Oh. Uh-oh, Casa. That eval bar went down. I'm guessing it's some kind of queen infiltration for black. I mean, queen d4, you can't even take it because rook e1 would have been mate, but he goes in with his bishop instead.
I actually like this bishop move. It's, the computer is probably not as huge a fan, but it asks Cornelius questions. And in a fast game, asking questions is great.
Yeah, it's one of those moves that objectively was incorrect. We saw the question marks, but it's a decent practical try. And I just want to point out that we already have a finished game. That while these players are talking and working their way through it, Ladarius Henderson, it looks like he's going at it, but Donovan Edwards took one against Joey Velasquez.
Nah, not really though.
And Ladarius, it looks, executed something closely resembling a 4-move checkmate. It's not quite 4 moves, perhaps, but it looks like queen takes f7 was made.
Yeah, actually, it was Ladarius Henderson who did win the first game. So I'm just going to listen to these two talk.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, sounds like so much is going on back there.
Yeah, Tristan's like, yes, please, I'll take that bishop. Thank you very much.
Like, we're hearing so much happen, like logistical efforts, them talking about freeing their pieces. But Casa, right now, white is up a piece, rather, and trying to push this pawn to the other side of the board. But I still could see this going wrong for white if that king remains on h1.
Yeah, that king on h1 does feel a little bit airy. Cornelius is a little stressed out, we're hearing, so we'll see if he's able to convert this. But when that d6 pawn drops, things might start to change.
Literally.
The rook hits the knight and the pawn behind it. You heard them? Don't have time to waste. They're feeling the pressure on the clock.
It's not a whole lot, but you gotta roll.
Gotta roll.
So what'd you just capture?
A pawn.
Okay, I was about to say.
Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. It's a little take.
Kind of friendly chatter right now, though, I must say.
Sick.
Yeah, like letting your opponent know what just happened, right?
Yeah,
like,
so kind.
Oh, it's clear that they play over the board a bunch, because that's usually what happens if someone's not fully paying attention. They start, what did you just do? Can you remind me? And then they show them. But the king is out of the corner, Casa. That's really good news for Cornelius. He's still wondering the stream.
Tristan is playing a little bit of Pac-Man with this rook, just gobbling up pawns, really doing some smart work with that rook. This is the real MVP right now.
Yes, doing all the heavy lifting, and there goes the b2, and then the knight grabs the pawn on a6, and I'm looking at the clock, right? They both are about to approach a minute, Casa.
We're about to get under a minute, and it's about to get weird. It's about to get really weird. Look at this Alpha Zero-esque push with h4 from Tristan. I love the aggression there.
Yeah, Alpha Zero. I love the way you describe that. And f6, another good move. Booting the knight. That bishop may enter on e4, and suddenly there's a problem with this white king.
Yeah, well, it might be some trouble in paradise. I see 2 ways. Yeah, basically Tristan chooses one. Looking at that g2 square at the bishop and rook primed to infiltrate there, it's getting a little shaky, folks.
I'm hunting.
Yeah, and he goes after the knight. The knight hops away with check, so both players are creating and recognizing the threats their opponents are making. And I'm looking at the clock, Casa. I think that's what's telling the story.
Yeah, and Tristan just now said, I'm hunting. So he is going big game hunting. We're going to see if he catches something in a moment.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for him, his bishop is under attack. He will have to save that piece, and it looks like he does with bishop to d5. But Casa, I mean, still threats against the white king, but that clock, it's ticking down.
Yeah, 25,
no
24,
increment.
23.
No increment at all for these players. And I think that Cornelius, I mean, he has to recognize that. That's also difficult.
Shut up. Shut up.
All right, keep going, Tristan, keep going.
He's nervous about it. He recognizes clock, but it's probably
it's about
waiting.
to get very interesting. I'm wondering who's just going to start making moves.
That's out of time.
Oh, and there goes the bishop. Yeah.
Oh, but Tristan's making moves. He's trying to catch up on the clock. He's punting on material, trying to get back on the clock. We'll see.
And if his king gets in, that would be unbelievable.
Look at this.
Here comes the king.
This is what I call Sherman's March. Look at this king. If it gets to F3, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. We have a threat, folks. We have a...
Oh, he missed it.
There
He
was
missed
second
it.
one.
He's moving too quickly, and we see that Cornelius was able to get a new queen.
Oh.
Oh.
I gotta lose.
Could you imagine if he
That's
pulled
so
that off, Casa? He loses on the clock, but Tristan bounds. He came
game
oh so
was
close.
You got a rematch
That
now?
was an unbelievable king walk. That might have been one for the book. Unfortunately for Tristan didn't get to get it
So
executed in
what,
time
two
with
and a
this
half?
rook c1 checkmate.
How did he get
But
2.5 though?
You-
I like the way he played towards the end of that game. He
was
realized
trying
time
to
became a
steal right
factor, and
there.
I think
Best
he'll
out
make
of
that
three.
adjustment in the next one.
Okay,
Because it
well,
gives you-
they're going to start their next game soon, but that game ended in Cornelius Johnson's favor. That could have gone either way. The players got into time trouble, and they were trying to figure things out. But there are other matchups that are ongoing right now. Ladarius Henderson, he won the first game, so why don't we go in and check on how the second one is going in his matchup against Dale Chesson, because, hey, you can't spell chess without Chesson, and I'm pleasantly surprised by what we're tuning in here for. Casa, it looks like Dale has a good position with his knight. Ooh, he hopped to the wrong square. He's going to d6. He could have gone into f6 with a fork.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very interesting position now that the knight did go to d6. Ladarius has castled. His king feels a little bit safer, but then again, white is the nice pawns in the center, nice space. And so we'll see how things develop in the next few moves. But this knight did wiggle around to f5, and there are some threats. So we'll see how this develops. But I think one of the things you see from Ladarius right away is look at the speed with which he's moving. He has a minute and a half up on the clock. That might tell.
In this time control, a minute and a half is pretty much like an hour. And also, look at the focus from Ladarius Henderson. He's not messing around. Like, he's not here to say, oh, my clock is getting low, like, cracking jokes. He is super serious, but so is Dale Chesson. These two players, it's clear that they care about the chess. And, that was a blunder.
That knight could be captured. And, yep, it is.
Oh,
But,
gosh.
Ladarius still has the massive, massive time edge, and I think that's what he's going to count on. So he's looking to double the rooks potentially. And look at this, Chesson very, very astutely looking to trade pieces. That is a good decision. I think it will help him given the time difference here. And he's trying to push that pawn quickly.
It looked like he got checkmated in very few moves in game one. Totally different player in game two. And that can happen when you're playing a little bit too quickly. You're not as familiar with the time control. They did select it as the team. This is the time control they wanted. But you could tell by Ladarius' play. He is about 1,000 rated in rapid chess. He's playing every move instantly. He doesn't want to get in time trouble.
Yeah, and again, like we said before, these offensive linemen are cerebral. He knows that winning the game might mean winning it on time, might mean winning it on position. He's just trying to win that game. So we'll see. This is the first extended think we're seeing in a minute. He does drop the king back to f8, maybe potentially trying to stop a rook infiltration.
Yeah, because h6, rook to e... Oh, a good play by Dale Chesson. If he can get that rook to the last rank, there will be plenty of threats and checkmating ideas against the black king. But b5, trying to spring for a pass pawn. Dale Chesson only has 23 seconds and counting down. So, Casa, that's really what's telling the story.
Yeah, this armada of pawns on the queen side right here, C and D pawns are dangerous, and he's looking to vacuum up some of those white pawns on the king side. I think the worst is over for Ladarius, and time is now going to tell.
But a nicely played game from Dale Chesson. When a piece was offered, he grabbed it. He traded off a pair of rooks. I mean, he is doing everything he can given the duress of the clock. But I just don't think 11.6 seconds against Ladarius Henderson is going to be enough.
Yeah, so now maybe he's going to look to take Dale's going to look to take that pawn. Yeah, bishop takes b5. Maybe start to shove the a pawn. 9 seconds, a lot to ask of your man Chesson here. So we'll see how it develops. King g7. Getting out of the way of any checks, very savvy move in time trouble. Get out of checks. Get out of the light squares because the white is a light square bishop. And look at him dancing on the dark squares. This is good decision making.
Yeah, I think that Dale's like, hey guys, why couldn't we agree on increment? Because I could really use that right now. 5 seconds added per move, and perhaps Dale wins this game, but it's over. It's a win. Look at Ladarius.
Let him know. Let him know. Get a little celebration here. Look at that celebration right there. Yeah.
Oh, we love to see the celebration. This means something to these players. And Ladarius takes game 2. Really nice to see these two players focused, but when the game is over, they're in good spirits.
Yeah. And again, so impressive. You saw a light square bishop, and his king just played hopscotch on those dark squares. G7, F6, F8. So very, very impressive stuff. Definitely has flagged someone before, no doubt about it. This is not the first rodeo.
Yeah, offensive linemen are called out for being slow. He was very speedy in that one. Let's go to the matchup between Roman Wilson and Zach Marshall. We have not tuned in for those two, so why don't we head on over to their second game, because it's actually quite an interesting position. We look at the material, and if this eval bar is to be believed, which I don't believe it. Yeah, it was slow to update. That's on me. Sorry about that. White has 2 rooks, but for a queen and 2 minor pieces, the white's up 4 pawns. Hard to really count the material and then also look at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that stands out is the one side is a queen, the other side doesn't. And look at Zach just gobbling up that rook on E2. Zach is brimming ear to ear. He knows what's up.
Dude,
Roman said it's over, but he could win on time.
here we go.
Uh-oh, are we going to have a repetition here?
Oh my goodness.
Nice he might
move.
forget that bishop on H8 is covering B2.
Look at that checkmate.
Oh, now
And these two players talking to each other. Roman Wilson, he doesn't seem thrilled with the result of that game, but it was a well-earned victory by Zach Marshall, it seems.
All right, so wow, Zach is asking Roman, "Do you want anything?" This is sportsmanship on the highest level right here. So very nice, very nice.
Usually you want a piece of me, but no, these two players, teammates, friends, and gentlemanly, even after a decisive game. So let's keep on going to see the other matchups that are underway in this game here. So would love to switch on over to another matchup.
Yeah, shout out really quickly to Puddin' Snack for just pointing out what I really was trying to in the heat of that time scramble. That bishop on H8 was covering the B2 square, and I was like, oh my gosh, are we gonna have a mate that is not a mate with Queen B2? But instead, Zach did wind up finding the Queen D3 checkmate. So it all worked out.
Yep. So it's nice to see them get up and get set for the next game. It seems like whatever snack we're seeing them off screen, everybody, but Zach is snacking. And it wasn't just on White's pieces in that game. Like, he is eating food. He's getting nourished.
At the end of the day, in the off season, you are meant to sometimes bulk up, do your workouts, and eat. I know college football players have a much larger appetite than the average Joe out there, so it does not surprise me.
No, I mean, they got to make sure that they're at their playing weight, that they're getting their nutrition, especially because they go through such exhausting workouts. But we do have 4 matches to start out the day. They all start in the same bracket, and then 4 will go and remain in the champions bracket. 4 will go to the consolation bracket. So it's been a great start for some of the players. Maybe others would like to change the trajectory of their matches. So why don't we go back to Ladarius and Dale while we have a moment, because they have started their 3rd game, and all Ladarius needs is to make 1 draw, and he wins the match because he won the first 2 games. But it seems like Dale has improved pretty much every game that we've seen from him.
Yeah, it's really impressive because in the first game he was playing too fast. In the second game it was a much closer call, but he responded. And now in this game he's very much up on the clock and has a position is pretty viable. This rook on G1, looking at at a potential G7 pawn. There is something going on here shortly that we might want to draw our attention to.
Yeah, and we're going to tune in right now because there are threats for both. And that bishop was attacking the black king. It's decided to step back because there were threats along the e-file. And hey, we have what was at that point an almost winning advantage for black. He decides to go grab a pawn. But Casa, this is one of those pawns that allows white to checkmate black in a few turns if he doesn't see the threats coming.
Rook h1 was a savvy move, a very savvy move, and now the queen might get to h3. This is looking dangerous.
Yeah, an open H file, an exposed black. Oh. Ladarius Henderson with the white pieces. He's aiming for checkmate in 1.
Man, it's going to be tough to get out of this. I mean, you could throw in a queen takes c3 check first, but that king is going to have to dart away to f8 eventually.
Yeah, the black king will have to step away, run to the center. And if you're not careful, your king is still going to be trapped. But look at the recognition from Dale Chesson. He steps in front with his queen. So he is going to lose a piece, and you're going to get the question marks. But we have to say that was good recognition that checkmate was coming. He didn't see any other way to stop it. King f8, that's one of those moves that goes against the chess principles you're taught. And for Ladarius, he said, I'm attacking. Why am I going to trade queens? He could have won a piece, but he instead says, let me go for that checkmate.
Yeah. It is very, very savvy, just trying to cover up that H file. And it's going to be a tough decision under duress.
For sure. And, well, for Dale Chesson, he has the black pieces. He's down 2-0. He can't make a draw. So even if they repeat moves back and forth, that's actually going to be a win if you think about it for Ladarius Henderson. So look at black O. Queen takes d3 check. Where is the king going to run to? Casa, I'm actually not even sure. I mean, we don't have the moves up. We just have the eval bar for the side. Would you play king f1 and run to the g file, or king d1 staying in the center, but there's not a follow-up check?
Yeah, King f1 feels more natural, but when you see that there's no follow-up check, King d1 is actually the best move. And it's still challenging to deal with this checkmate threat. So Dale has some decision to make.
Yeah, and you can't spell chess without Chesson, but this could be the last game of his first-round match if Dale Chesson does not score a victory in this game. But he's staring defeat in the face. His queen h8 looks unstoppable until you realize the king can escape on over to f8. But it's not easy to see, especially for newer players, to move their king after you've castled. You're taught to keep your king safe, to put it in the castle territory, and then to use your pieces. But no pieces can help prevent that checkmate.
Dale has 40 seconds left. Oh, and he finds it. He finds king f8. He finds king f8. That is clutch play right there. Now it's the time issue again. It's gonna come up. Rook b3, really smart move. Look at that.
Yeah. And queen a1 check, apparently not right, though that looks like a natural try. And we understand that you don't see the clocks in front of you. We'll keep you updated. Black has 30 seconds, white 2 minutes and 27 seconds. White is Ladarius Henderson here, black is Dale Chesson. And king to d2, just sliding the king up. Importantly, the queen defends the rook. And Casa, now it's time to throw in a check. Oh my gosh, and he plays it.
Ladarius is playing spectacularly, and I think he sees the combinations here. I mean, look at this. Queen h8. Bishop c5, queen h8. Now he sees the pin. I mean, he is firing on all cylinders. Now, the real thing is, does he notice this is a pin? He elects to take the rook. Still a very good move, and I think he's going to start administering some checks now. This queen on a2 is out of play.
And he grabs the pawn, getting closer to the black king. If he plays rook a1 here, I'm just going to leave. I mean, that would be an unbelievable queen trap. Like, if he sees the long-distance connection between the queen on g7, he goes rook h8. It's a great move. He's just trying to win material. The queen is trapped over on a2. But if he somehow saw that, I would have stopped. I said, it's his. He won already.
Yeah. And again, this king is an emperor with no clothes. So the queen and rook right now are going to combine to do some terrible things. And with 4 seconds left, Dale's on the brink.
Yeah. He goes queen to b3. That queen can just be captured. You can also ignore it, and he does, trying to go for checkmate. But Dale has 1.6 seconds left for the black pieces. So he's getting checkmated. He's about to lose on time. And so unless you walk into a checkmate with 0.8 seconds, it's over. It's Ladarius Henderson's game. It's his match. He moves on in the champions bracket.
Ladarius knows that the clock matters, and you can just tell by the way he played that. He didn't even try to take the queen. He's just like, let me win on time, and that's what he did. So very, very impressive play from Ladarius thus far. He is my guy.
Yeah, well, Dale Chesson, great name for this board game, but unfortunately not the best start for him. He played really well. I have to say that he lost his first game very quickly, and then the next 2 games were quite combative. He had his chances. So well played by Dale Chesson. He just happened to be against the number 1 rated player in the field, so we'll see if he can rebound in the next one. But we I do have other action going on. It looks like Donovan Edwards, he's up 2-1 his match against Joey Velasquez. He wants to knock his linebacker foe out in this one. And then we see that Marshall up 2-0 against Wilson. I mean, Roman Wilson, he's been struggling against the might of the tight end, Zach Marshall. And then Cornelius Johnson, 2-1. That's a slim lead for him, so we'll try to tune in for the final games of these matches.
Joey V, very clutch. I mean, he basically was down 2-0, and now he's caught up a little bit, so very, very clutch.
Yeah, he is trying to make it 2-2. Then we get tie breaks. You were talking about overtime earlier. Overtime in football, especially college football, is super exciting, where they just go back and forth from enemy territory trying to get those touchdowns, often settling for field goals, and then people start calling out the college kickers. It's really just a tough position to be in. But this is chess. This is 2-1 leads for some of the players, and for Ladarius Henderson, he's already made his way through to the next round, the semis of the Champions Bracket.
Yeah, and I believe we are going to have at least one match go to tiebreak. This is what I'm feeling right now. Certain Joey has some momentum. Tristan also might have some momentum here. I think we're going to get one.
Okay, well, we can pull up a game. It just started here between Donovan Edwards and Joey Velasquez. So in the running back, linebacker, it's a fun combination of players because they do go at it in practice in a way that most other positions, unless we're talking cornerback and wide receiver and lineman, but there are no D linemen. The only defensive player is Joey Velasquez. So we will pull that game up for you shortly.
I think Joey just tried to basically just go in for a little quick kill with trying to get at Edwards' queen here, and it literally. I think I just saw on camera, actually, Edwards acknowledge that. We might have that for you in a moment, but there is a lot of back and forth between these guys while they're playing, which is really a welcome feature. This doesn't happen when you're playing, right, Robert?
No, because I don't really play very much anymore, but also you're right. Chess is historically played in silence and to promote the best possible thinking, and that makes sense. But it is fun to see in these more lighthearted these events where they're talking some trash, but it's friendly. And in this game, I think I'll just go back very quickly because you were saying knight takes d4, stealing a pawn the center. That one didn't work out because the queen grabbed the knight. So it looks like Donovan Edwards, he wasn't going to fall to a pawn blunder. He just grabbed the knight that took. And look at these bishops come out for white going after the queen. But Joey, he blocks it from both directions. And unfortunately for him, he's continuing to go after the queen, because at what cost? I mean, there are so many pieces in front of the black king.
Hey, I see persistence, though. And, maybe he's going to follow up here with bishop d6, challenging that queen again. Really trying to get that queen off the board and try and make something happen there. But man, the pawn structure, I must say, it does remind me a little bit of a French gone wrong.
Yeah, but this could go wrong for white if you don't see that your queen is under attack. That bishop just entered the action by taking back on g7, and white is up so much time and is up a piece. And look at this move, bishop f6. I feel like Donovan Edwards, he can really play. Like his rating is a little bit higher than Joey's, but you see like these type of moves where he understands quickly that his queen is under attack. He darts it away, and the games will never be perfect, even if Magnus Carlsen plays. But the point is, he's recognizing the threats, he is quickly avoiding them, and he's well ahead in the clock with a great position.
Yeah, I do like Joey here castling, though. I think that, basically, if Donovan trades the queens here or tries to liquidate, that would be impressive. He might also just decide to chop off this knight. So we're going to find out right here. But he has a few really attractive options. And the only question for me is he going to castle in the next few moves and get those rooks connected?
Look at this, though. He just took every piece. I'm going to just do a quick instant replay because in this position, he took on g7, the queen took, and he recognized that the queen was distracted away from the knight, grabs the knight, the bishop comes out, he takes the bishop too. So, some of these players are very new to chess. They will make one-move errors that lose material, but it's important for newer players to pick up. When your opponent makes a mistake, you have to capitalize on it. And so far, Donovan Edwards has done everything right. And
Oh, look at that. Rook G1. Beautiful move. Taking advantage of the queen on G2 with the king on G8. And I must say, every time a piece has been attacked on Donovan's side, he's dealt with it. Every time. So he sees the knight and the rook are attacked, he deals with it. He sees his queen is being attacked, he deals with it. And he is in form right now. He is grooving.
He's also got swag on. I didn't even realize that earlier. I mean, he is actually having a blast. We can see him in one of our mini scenes. But, he is just dominating this game. And if he leans back again, you'll see what we saw. Because that's not just any polo. That's a very specific polo. So if Donovan, just stretches one more time, you'll see that Chess.com logo on his shirt.
Robert, that hand is covering a big grin. That is what is going on right now. He is locked in, but he also knows he is in position to advance. And so that is what's going on right now.
He grabbed the queen, he pinned, and then he won it. Now he's going after the black king. So from what I'm seeing here, it's just great play for
look at that.
Donovan Edwards. Okay, his rating says 325, from what I can see. He is much stronger than that. There's just no way you can convince me that he is a 300 rated player.
And if he picks up this knight and goes to e5 or g5, oh, look at that. He is. See, the thing is I don't even know if he's checking out mate, but he sees the rook is under fire, and he has taken every piece available to him, and without even hanging any of his own. So, very impressive play. My goodness, there are a lot of options. He's thinking here. I don't know if he. Oh, maybe the game is going to turn slightly. Was that a mouse slip? That might have been a mouse slip. He is shocked. This might have been the chance Joey needed.
We saw him off screen there. He jumped out of his chair. Like, he literally leapt out of his chair. He can't believe it. But he has 3 minor pieces for a rook, so he still actually is ahead. It is hard to sort of tame your emotions, to settle back down when you just drop your queen for free. But he is well ahead, and he will need to convert this advantage because he had this win in the bag. And by the way, the clocks aren't on the screen, but White, being Donovan Edwards, has 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Joey Velasquez of Black has 1 minute 5 seconds. So big lead on the clock for Donovan.
And I like what he's doing. In the last few moves, Donovan has basically dropped his bishop back to a protected square, made sure his knight on g5 was protected twice. He's basically making sure he covers all his pieces so there are no blunders that happen again. And I think he's back in position to take control of this game.
Yeah, he's saying you can fool me once, that's on me, but it's not going to happen another time. And he just brings his knight back, attacking the rook, and that rook should probably go to f5, just create threats. Oh, now you can take either rook, but you should probably take the rook on g6, and look at how quickly Donovan snags that piece.
Is giggling off camera. He is gleeful. I mean, he understands the terms and conditions of this game have completely turned around. And my only question is he going to try and make a queen, or is he going to use this armada of pieces to finish?
That's a great question. I typically advise newer players to go get a queen. Like, just make sure your pieces are protected, get a queen. Do not stalemate, but they're most familiar with the queen checkmate. Like, checkmating with a rook isn't always easy for newer players. But he has, as you said, an armada. He has 2 knights and a bishop in addition to the rook. So he has many ways to try and get victory. Speaking of victory, Cornelius, he scores a 3rd win, and he takes the match against Tristan Bounds.
Here's the thing, though, Robert. A draw actually does seal his victory to the next round. So even a stalemate will suffice. And I think there's a little bit of playing with his food that's going on right now. He's going a little back and forth, the rook, just straight chilling. I think it would be sensible to try and get a queen and then essentially ladder mate, where you basically kind of run the king up the board almost like in a ladder-like fashion. But even a stalemate wins.
Here it comes.
It's a funny position.
Here comes the pawn. He's doing exactly what you just said, Casa. He is going to get a new queen, I would imagine. Well, he moved his rook. He's just laughing. Like, we can see him just having the time of his life off screen.
He's moving pieces that do not need to be moved. He is playing with his food. This is what I call it, playing with your food.
I can see a stalemate coming. Like, I have a rook f7, king c8, and he oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I feel like this. He won on time.
Yeah. He won on time here, and now we see him on screen, just straight thrilled, happy. He's advancing. He basically navigated the queen scare, and it was enough to win.
Yes, it was, and that Chess.com polo on full display. He wins with a 3-1 match victory, and there is another game still going on. So it looks like there's a matchup between Zach Marshall and Roman Wilson. Roman actually lost the first 2 games. He won the third. But in game 4, down in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, Zach Marshall, looking like a superhero in that photo, in that bird's eye view, and he is completely dominating this game 4 against Roman
I think
Wilson.
Martian was a Freudian slip there, Robert.
Yeah, it was.
Come on, like he does look very superhuman in that photo, and his position looks very superhuman as well. We essentially have a massive collection of pieces to do damage against Roman. We'll see.
On to the next round. I'm focused on the next opponent, man.
Oh,
Hey,
the game is not over yet, but
It's
in its
over.
mind, it is over.
And Roman even said it's over,
Yeah.
so he's given up.
You go to the second round?
Second round.
Wow, checkmate.
And
Also-
that is the ladder mate we wanted to see, right?
Yeah, no, that's perfect ladder checkmate. So
Crazy.
Damn, this guy.
Roman even knows it's
This guy
over.
plays chess.
You just know this is going to be locker room discussion for longer than a few weeks. You just know it.
oh yeah, and look at them, getting up, eating, still talking to one another. But yeah, this is going to be fodder in the locker room for a while. But we know who moves on in the brackets now. Zach Marshall, one of the 4 people who make it to the semis. And are they listening to us too? Hey everybody! Good to see that they're tuning in. But Ladarius Henderson, he has to lock in because he's playing Donovan Edwards, who did impress us despite blundering his queen against Joey Velasquez in that 4th game. He was dominating that one. And then Zach Marshall took all of Roman Wilson's pieces, and he takes on Cornelius Johnson. So he takes on the organizer of this event, and those matchups, they should be quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how these guys that basically took a lot of pieces and flagged folks are going to do against their and basically matchups where their teammates did the same.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the champions bracket, but we will also have a consolation bracket. So the players who just lost, now they're not returning to campus and calling it a day. They still have to play, and you see the matchups. Dale Chesson taking on Joey Velasquez, Roman Wilson taking on Tristan Bounds. So, they're, as we said, they're going to be talking. They're going to be chirping at one another, and they want to win. They're having fun. This is for charity. It's really a fantastic event. But Casa, they definitely want to score those wins.
Yeah, and I must say I was impressed with the development of Chesson as he got through the match, because he definitely was playing well towards the end.
He certainly was. So there will be more chess between these Michigan Wolverine football players today. But tomorrow we do have a special event that you should all tune in for, because we are back tomorrow, June 29th, with another installment of stateofchess.com. Join Danny Wrench for a community get-together and chat about the latest developments in the chess world, from events to partnerships and more. Plus, get hyped for special guest appearances and a community Q&A with Danny. Mark your calendars for the State of Chess, June 29th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. For details, use the command SOC in chat. So you will not want to miss the stateofchess.com tomorrow. You will also not want to miss the continuation of this BlitzChamps Michigan Wolverine edition. We'll be right back, and on the flip side of this break, we'll get to the semifinals of the champions and consolation brackets.
Have a friend or family member who loves chess? Gift them a Chess.com membership today and see them take their game to the next level. You can choose a gold, platinum, or diamond membership for 1 month or 1 year. Want your gift to arrive on your friend's birthday or on a holiday? Gifts can be scheduled to arrive up to 90 days in the future. All premium plans include an ad-free experience, unlimited puzzles and lessons, and unlock all bots. Go Platinum to add unlimited game review or Diamond to unlock insights and coach explanations. Give the gift of chess today.
And we return to BlitzChamps Michigan style. This is the Michigan Wolverines football team. 8 players taking part in this competition. I'm Grandmaster Robert Hess. Alongside me, my good friend, International Master Casa Corley. Casa, we've seen 4 matches take place thus far. We know who's going to remain in the champions bracket and who is going to fall down to the consolation bracket, and those names are in front of us. So of the matchups, Ladarius Henderson versus Donovan Edwards and Marshall versus Cornelius Johnson, who stood out to you the most in the early going?
Man, I must say, Ladarius Henderson and Donovan Edwards proved to be speed demons and were consistently up on the clock, consistently up material-wise as well, and really, really played well. So I think this is going to be the top matchup that I'm going to be curious about.
And Zach Marshall looking like a superhero in that photo and playing like one. He took all of his opponent's pieces, and he will have a tough match ahead. But Dale Chesson, his tournament continues against Joey Velasquez. Roman Wilson takes on Tristan Bounds. I think these players, I think they'll grow as the day continues because some of them did show some great progress. I think in particular we were impressed by Dale Chesson's play.
Yeah, 100%. He played Ladarius and the highest rated player in the field and really gave him a fight. And so I think he definitely made adjustments from game 1 to game 2, and I think he is going to be primed to have a really good result here against Velasquez.
Yeah, no real easy matchups for these players. They all are, relatively new to chess, or they just, focus on it so much because they're pretty busy as students at the University of Michigan and playing on the football team, and their careers hopefully involve chess as well. That's what we're here for. That's what we love to see. And there is money for charity that is going to Tough, and that's an initiative that was founded by University of Michigan alumni. It's a cause near and dear to these players' hearts, so we are glad that they're participating. We're glad that they're bringing chess to bigger and broader audiences, and that they're also doing a nice thing along the way, providing financial support to underserved communities. So the next matches, they will get going soon, and, well, we talked about this beforehand, Casa. The O-lineman and the running back. Pretty important dynamic, pretty important relationship. The running back relies on the O-lineman to spring them free. So Ladarius Henderson is taking on Donovan Edwards. I'm happy to see that matchup.
Yeah, again, we've said it before, but offensive linemen are cerebral players. They have to win more than any other position on the field. And I see Ladarius and Donovan talking about this game long after it ends. So I'm going to be curious to see how that goes. I'm also curious to see what types of checkmates we're going to see. We've seen a few ladder mates. We've seen a few queen mates. I expect to see a few more ladder mates.
Yeah, no, I think we'll see some new wrinkles in their play, but we are starting in the consolation bracket, and so we will bring up the game between Dale Chesson and Joey Velasquez. And look at Dale go. First of all, Dale played in English. That pawn is on c4. Then he brought both of his knights out and grabbed a central pawn. But look at Joey go. That's a big threat on f2.
Yeah, checkmate in 1. Hello. Well, checkmate in 1, but it looks like it. We've seen this tactic before, so we'll see if it works out this time.
Yeah, this is a big threat. And also the way you would defend it with g3, that will have long-term issues with the rook hanging on h1. And this queen, it's played. The queen should slide to d4, hitting the knight, hitting f2, and that rook in the corner is also in trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough decision right now. Does he punt on the f2 pawn and have the king go for a little walk, or does he actually defend that rook? Tough decision.
And Joey, he's an aggressive player here. He brings his queen to the center. I think he's also stepped his game up since the first game of the day. Like, he is playing a really nice one at this point, and if he grabs the knight, he wins a piece. He does that. He could also take it on f2 and won the rook on g1.
Yeah, I also like the time management here. I think both players have made this adjustment where they understand that time is more important. I think we're going to see more of that awareness this round as well. So even though Dale is down a piece, he does have some stuff for it. But we do see d4 here, trying to execute a fork, but that pawn on d4 is hanging. Will Joey grab it?
He should, and if he doesn't, he loses his bishop. He does, and I like the way he took it as well. He could have taken with the queen, try to get them off the board, but he's going for the attack, and I also like the response. Knight b5, hitting the bishop. I could see a future where this bishop gets out to f4, and suddenly the black king is feeling like it's in a bit of danger.
Yeah, threats being generated for both sides. I think your ability to generate threats, get some stuff on, again, And a yes, no chessing without Hessen. We do see that. Very, very nice. We appreciate the chat as well. Oh, and here we go. Here we go. Chesson has a chance right here to, live up to the name.
Yeah, grabbing a bishop on d4. The knight came to a6. Clear purpose. So that's what I like to see from these players. Even when they're making mistakes, right? That mistakes will happen, but there is a clear purpose behind the moves. He saw c7 was loose. He goes and defends it. But unfortunately for him, the knight on b5, a dual threat piece, hitting the bishop and the pawn. And unfortunately for Dale, he doesn't grab the bishop. Instead, he attacks it, but he could have grabbed it for free.
Not obvious. Again, those backwards moves with knights are sometimes tricky. Maybe he was just eyeing the c7 pawn and did not see the d4 pawn, the d4 bishop hang. But we have a series of moves, and queen takes e3 is on the board, and that is a queen that is going to be captured by Dale. Wow, there's a lot of action going on right now. Look at this, knight takes c7 check, looking for a fork, but that knight on a6 again, the backward knight moves, very, very difficult to notice, very challenging to notice, and it was missed. Although I don't think we've seen the last twist and turn in this game, Robert.
No, we have not. King e2 dropping this rook over here on g1, so black can simply grab it. He backs up with his bishop. But I want to say your point is very well taken, that these knight retreating moves, they have been hard to spot for both players. It was Dale who didn't take a bishop here, and then it was Joey who didn't take a knight on c7. So that's something, an area of improvement for the players. But also Joey can go right after this king. I mean, this bishop on a8, that's a long-range piece that could cause some issues.
Oh, look at this. Robert, look at this king on e2. It is an emperor with no clothes. These black bishops on c5 and a8 are actually clocking in overtime right now, and we might see a king on the run shortly. If this rook comes to e8, like you're mentioning, this is a whole different type of game. And in fact, if this is a game we were playing, I'm not so sure I would like white in this situation.
I mean, especially after pawn takes pawn, and the rook may not go to e8. It may land on h2. This king on e2 is actually in quite a lot of danger. So what does the material look like? I see 3 minor pieces for a queen and a rook. So there are a large number of pieces for black. They're just less valuable pieces. The knight hops into e4. Can't blame Joey for going after this rook, hopping forward. But this rook should probably slide on over to d3. Or, if you're extra sneaky, take on h5. Oh my gosh, same idea. There is checkmate in 1 threatened.
My goodness. Oh! Is it going to happen? Are we going to have queen takes c7? And that was sneaky, man. That was sneaky. Chesson just delivering a blessing right here. What a checkmate with queen takes d7.
Did you see the look of relief on his face when he played the move? He's like, oh, I got that one. The players, they're talking about it right now.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That might have been my most entertaining game of the event thus far. The ups and downs there were incredible.
Yeah, that was a fun game between these two. I made some good ideas by both. Of course, mistakes along the way. But in the end, Dale was able to checkmate Joey's king that was stuck in the center. But Joey was playing good ideas, just the execution wasn't completely there. So good to see smiles on their faces. I saw that featured chat. Let's go to another game because it looks like the matches, they're taking off. We have Cornelius Johnson we can look at. Also, I just want to quickly pull up Ladarius Henderson. He won his first game super quickly against Donovan Edwards, so we'll stay in the champions bracket, but that is a demolition down the G file. So let's hop into game 2 right now between these guys because that is a nasty finish to this game.
Yeah, we spoke about it at the beginning of the show that Ladarius is a very, very dangerous player, and I must say the position he has on the board right now with black is very Sicilian-esque, and so I really like the fianchettoed bishop. I am going to love it if he castles sooner rather than later, and I'm impressed with how he's handling.
I don't think it's either of these two players talking,
No.
but somebody else on the team who's playing their match is who we can hear. But it was a Sicilian. It was nicely played by Ladarius, but look at Donovan. He's going for that rook, and now bishop e3. If he finds that move, he's got good chances.
Yeah, it's funny though. This king on d1, we've seen some airy kings give the black some counterplay. This might be no different.
Oh,
Whoa. I'm tripping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ladarius just lurched back in his chair. He realized what happened.
Yeah, he's a hard man to push back. Right? His job is staying upright and not allowing the D lineman to push him back. But as soon as his rook fell, he was like, he jolted. He's like, oh, didn't see that one coming. And Donovan, we've said it, right? Like, he has been playing impressively well and quickly, and he's playing against the top seed in the field. And look at that determination on his face. Like, he's been holding back smiles, but I think he's really just trying to keep his emotions in check.
Right, yeah. And I must say, I think Ladarius is doing a great job. Every move's a threat-generating move. So even though this knight on b8 is hanging, every move is generating a threat, and he's continuing to do that. So hopefully he can continue that, but he is in a tough spot now. The bishop on c3 and the knight on b8 both being undefended right now. We'll see which one he values more.
Yeah, no, it's he pushes the pawn and quickly does Donovan Edwards. He grabs that
rook d2. Rook d2. I think he's going to go for rook d2 here. He's been good at generating threat, even when he's in trouble. And look, it's on the board.
Good call by you, Casa. I mean, this king, if it goes into b3, it's fortunate that bishop e6 check is not available. The knight can capture, because if after bishop e6 you don't see that and you bring your king up, rook takes a2 will be mate. So I could see this checkmate happening.
Yeah. Although Donovan has been really good at just capturing stuff when it's available, I think he's going to take on e6.
He has to take it.
Man,
Really?
honestly, I'm not focused on that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at Donovan's reaction. Look at Ladarius. Ladarius is shocked himself.
I mean, I know Donnie's the prophet, but I cannot believe that just happened.
He was really up.
If you're eating, you're eating, I guess.
He was up.
He was up, Ladarius. You're 100% right about that.
If you're,
Bro.
take water. Take some water. Well, I wish I would have. I wish I would drink some water.
What are you saying about
Please, bro. Please, dude.
that?
Drink some water. Step out the room. Please, bro.
Well, love to hear them having some fun. Well, other games are still going on, and Ladarius Henderson out to a 2-0 lead in his semifinal match. Let's go to the other game in the winners bracket, the champions bracket. It's Cornelius Johnson with the black pieces against Zach Marshall, and that one, it looks like it's coming down to a potential time scramble where Cornelius is up a minor piece and up about 30 seconds in the top right.
Yeah, it is a tricky position here. Not a lot of time left for Zach, and a tough position to contend with. So we'll see how this develops in the next bit of time. But Cornelius looks comfortable.
What?
They're literally talking when they have 10 seconds or under that for Zach, and not much time for Cornelius either. So they're having fun with it.
You really
Shout out to Kieran and Trad. It's true. Hardest game to win is a one game indeed.
Right there. I might have won on time. Yeah, I won on time.
Alright.
Bro, I sold there.
Oh, look at Zach. He looks a bit disappointed by the result there. Cornelius, he just looks like another day at the office. Yeah, I might have won on time.
Bro, I was just whooping that one time.
That's the worst.
Bro, I realized he was a minute and a half down, and I just stopped trying to win it all.
Started stalling to his best. It's actually smart though.
Oh my goodness. Look at that game in the bottom left. I'm going to pull that up because Dale Chesson might have just delivered the checkmate of the day. That is so sick. Yeah, Casa, I see your face. The people don't see it. But that, oh my gosh. Look at this, everybody. The last move played was bishop takes b4, and that is a double check to the king, so you can't block a double check. The king can't go to the d file because of the queen. It can't go to f1 because of the bishop, and that's checkmate.
My goodness, this one might go in the puzzle books, okay? Like, that you do not see a double discovery checkmate every day. That is beautiful, beautiful.
Oh my gosh, Dale Chesson delivering a sparkling checkmate against Joey Velasquez, who was down a lot of pieces to begin with, but to end the game in that fashion, that's some cool stuff. So we look at our games that are going on. It looks like Ladarius Henderson is completely winning in his third game of the semifinals of the Champions Bracket. And in the top right, a lot of pawn pushes from Zach Marshall. So he's using his pawns as his army. But why don't we tune into Ladarius' game, because this might be the final game of the semifinal matchup, and Ladarius wants to take this one home. He did, he knows he was fortunate in game 2 to get that checkmate, but he doesn't want to leave any doubt in winning this game 3.
You know what's crazy is this actually began as a fried liver. So it was a really, really incredible start. And, just like in the fried liver, it got messy quick. The kings that didn't really castle, their pieces strewn about. Crazy.
Yeah, when the game ends, we'll go over it, but I'm curious to hear their talking.
If we weren't here.
No,
It's not the pressure, bro. It's just like,
it's goofy.
Environment, man.
damn.
It's not your home environment.
That's all it is.
I'm in the polar right
It's just like,
It might be
damn.
the polo. LD's the only one out in the polo.
That's why it's locked in.
Sounds like Donovan is suggesting he's playing an away game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it real.
Also, I wonder, I hope they brought a polo in Ladarius' size. I hope that's not the problem, that he's, too muscular, too big.
Yeah, you just see.
Oh, the game might turn right now.
You called it.
It might turn right now.
Oh, big opportunity here for Donovan.
Discovery check in the mix right now.
And he's calculating. I feel like he knows something is there.
Bro, LD, bro. What's good with you? Damn near. Damn near.
It's like 2K, man.
Oh, you just saw you had my queen. You had it.
Ladarius saw it.
Wait.
You would've
Yeah.
moved your rook out the way. Hold on.
I think you're tripping,
If
bro.
you'd have moved your rook out the way up towards my queen, I'd have been a check, and you could have took my queen.
And you could have took the queen. You said what?
And Ladarius very quickly scoots out the way.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he's coaching,
I am
right?
sick,
Yeah.
bro. I can't even call it, bro. I'm sick.
Oh, no.
Um,
Oh,
I am sick.
we have a misclick somewhere.
Real, huh?
Yeah.
Bro, I was trying to click on my rug. It'd be like that. Oh, the mouse? Yeah, that mouse be.
I see what you want to do. I see it.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
Ladarius can play. Ladarius can play, man. Like, man. He is
He-
not taking any prisoners.
like he saw his opponent's threats. He allowed it for a move.
Game?
There. Look at them.
He's hot, bro.
Sportsmanship.
He's hot.
What you say?
At least
That-
I feel better now.
That was a sweet checkmate. So, I mean, that whole game was really nice. It was a fried liver. So I just want to quickly show. They're just talking. I just want to show the start of this game.
Before me, no. It's just when we play at
He,
Shin,
facts. Who tired at him all the time?
he knew the fried liver. He can really play.
You can run that. You can run that
I'll
shit.
be killing Dale like
Bro, you are so.
that I ain't gonna lie, that just
Bro, we can run it. We can run it back on the camera in person.
playing for third is
On
crazy.
there.
My last 3 games in person, I'm 3-0. And then on here, I'm 3-0. So you're
Hey, where's
That boy feeling hot.
Say, all right, so this is the dynamic. They're basically talking about playing on the computer and playing over the board and the difference there.
Oh, back.
Yeah,
He think he hot.
Yeah, I wanna holler at bro.
Bro thinks he's tough.
You know, I'm about to start
What
playing
you
more
trying to
5-minute
get,
push-ups,
Joey?
bro.
Let's see.
I'm just enjoying the talk. All right, why don't we let them be? Let them talk, off camera for a second. We'll go to our bird's eye view because other games are in progress. And we see that in the bottom right, Tristan Bounds up 2-0 on Roman Wilson. Dale Chesson, he's up 2-0 against Joey Velasquez. And the top right, we have Cornelius Johnson trying to join Ladarius Henderson in the Champions Final. He is winning against Zach Marshall. But, Casa, I couldn't quite tell who made that misclick. Somebody was very upset about misclicking in the rook.
Yeah, it was a tough one for me to catch as well. I had a feeling it might have been Zach, but I wasn't totally sure. I do want to very, very quickly acknowledge, if we can, the beautiful checkmate that Tristan had in his last game against Roman. These guys, and we just saw Chesson with the beautiful double discovery checkmate, and this double bishop checkmate is also just chef's kiss.
Oh, if we can pull that up, that would be excellent because it's almost like they're learning from each other. We saw Ladarius teaching while playing his game, but if we can bring up the board, it'll be great to show the final position from Tristan Bounds and Roman Wilson because it's not a checkmating pattern you see every day. Tristan was well ahead in that game, but just to we'll get into their current game, but first we want to show their previous game because it was a really nice checkmate from Tristan. Look at this. Bam. Chef's kiss.
Those are some nice bishops. Really nice. I mean, my goodness, So just you love to see it, and the funny thing is also you wonder, did they notice? Was it noticed that it was checkmate, or was it really noticed when it said game over? That's always the question. Sometimes you just stumble upon brilliance.
Well, Tristan Bound brilliantly up 2-0 at the moment, and here in game 3 against Roman Wilson, he is also doing very well with the black pieces. He can take on g3. This is a trick that people should hopefully learn, that the rook on h1 is loose over here.
Blundered. All right, come on, run it, run it. Ooh, run it, run me that rook.
No, I'm good.
He found it.
I'm here to resign on this one, but is this a real game? I'm resigning.
Who are they watching? You. Oh.
Tell us how you really feel.
My phone back. Who's watching?
Everyone's watching, Tristan.
I'm running out of time. I'm joking too much. I got a lock.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure I beat Roman. I know, bro. I can't fold this game.
All right. So what do we have here? We got
Roman,
Tristan dodging.
Trade. I'm fine. Good for it.
Okay. So he wanted to trade pieces right now.
Yeah, I keep misclicking, bro. It's hard on this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, I was talking a lot when I lost to 6-2, man. I'm not gonna lie all the time, bro.
I love that they're just chatting over there while playing. But he recognized that he's moving a little bit too slowly because his focus is elsewhere.
Yeah, you love to see it. You love to see it. And he also recognizes he's on camera, so, it gets a little different when you're on camera,
Yeah, this is a very traditional chess broadcast, Casa. When we're in the Champions Chess Store and their foreheads are right. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
I could hear us like from their background.
It is kind of wild. It's like
crazy, bro.
we also gotta be careful not to give away the right moves, give away the game over here. We gotta be neutral commentators.
I'm watching you, bro.
You're watching your
Tristan, respect. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
He's watching
Let
himself.
Let us know.
That's awesome.
Roman looks more focused, Tristan. You gotta bring it. Roman might catch you. You gotta be careful.
Man, y'all are chirping too much.
Oh. He's trash talking with us now? Oh, we're gonna have to get at him now. It's the delay between the broadcast and what we're saying.
Yeah.
Roman, is it my turn? No.
I can't laugh.
I've not been this unlocked in a game of chess in my life.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Tristan, since you can hear us, since we know that, you should look at your clock. You should focus on the game. Give him some friendly advice.
Bro, I don't even know when it's my turn right now. What that? I mean,
Yo, Roman looks locked in. Roman looks like he's about to go and do something. So we'll see how this develops.
We played the finals on that.
I can't.
Or like, is there some way to figure that out? Yeah. Probably,
Oh my gosh. I can't tell if Roman's doing this for the audience. I feel like, he's auditioning.
LD's. He said, "No, you cannot have my board, cuz get out of here." He said, "No, boy." Look. Bro, I just want to hear what they're saying. I don't even. Forehead
Tristan, we're telling you to pay attention.
Yeah, Roman is gonna flag you. He knows what it is. He knows he has to make something of this time advantage.
He just played us telling him to focus, so now he's doing it. Good listener,
I'd actually be curious for both of those guys.
I'm winning, bro.
Roman, we're not on his side.
Yeah, we're not on anyone's side. We're not on anyone's side.
Bro, time, bro.
Now they look locked in.
No, you should just lose on time.
Bro, time. You had 4 seconds to find out.
Apparently somebody lost on time, but I'm not sure. I think Joey lost to Dale.
About to get to 3-0. I'm about to get to 3-0. Oh, it's over. I think.
I'm locked in. I'm here for it. Tell them I'm here for it. They told me.
Tristan, we're actually curious. What position on the football field you think is the
Roman,
most
just move,
cerebral
bro.
one?
Just let me get the dub. Just give it to me.
It's over. I lost.
Bro, it's over. You're done for.
He's trying to multitask.
Yeah.
I'm locked in with y'all. I'm not even worried about Roman.
Wow.
Roman. It's over.
Oh, okay.
Dang, this is just trash talking now.
All right, so there's a little bit of playing with his food right here.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
It's just one of these moments, Casa, where we should provide.
Make your move,
With a
bro.
rook and a bishop. Or knight.
We should provide instruction, but they're listening to us, so it's hard.
Yeah,
to do
it's
that.
hard. Like I'm like just
Watch me.
staying quiet here, not trying to give away the game here. But
Hey, yo.
I'm playing games. Come here. Come here. Come
He
here.
would-
Come here.
but Tristan is definitely elected to play Pac-Man with his rook right now. He clearly enjoys capturing pawns.
Oh, my fault. I'm cheating. I'm not listening to him. I'm just talking
Wow.
It's funny because I didn't want to be the person to
Looks
say
like
it,
we got a
Casa.
cheater, everybody.
trash. Bro, you're getting walked.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty
You're
good.
getting walked like a dog. Like it's bad. You're free. You're free. You're
It's
free.
pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
You're free. I'm literally just playing with my food. You're so free.
I think Bounce doesn't know how to checkmate.
Yeah, bro. I don't know why
That-
John Black.
Roman might be onto something with
Yeah.
with the challenging the checkmating ability here.
You're
We'll
so
find
free.
out
You can't even
shortly.
take it if you wanted to. You're so free. You're so free. You're so free.
This is for the title.
This is for the title.
You're so free.
Let me win then. Let me win then.
No,
Let me win the time then and run it back.
You're free.
No, let me win the time and run it
I'm
back.
not letting you win nothing.
Let me win it and run it back.
A draw. I just folded.
Wow.
You still win though.
Yeah,
You
that
still win.
That's what you call not backing it up.
that's what you call, advancing regardless. I mean,
True.
at the end of the day, he said 2.5 wins the round.
It's one of these situations, actually quite instructive for everybody, that you got to give checks. You need to make sure that the king either has space or keep giving the check, because you can't stalemate when the king doesn't check. So we do have one game going in this semifinals. We had a lot of fun there with Tristan and Roman. Roman gave it his all. Wasn't his match, but Tristan, he deserved that victory. He played very well.
Yeah, I must say he was in control most of the game, and he definitely backed up the trash talking. So.
Also, I feel like Ladarius is everywhere, right? Like he wins his games, and then he's immediately locked into other people's chess games. So he's looking in on this one.
I'll see.
Zach is up 30 seconds.
We post game interview. You need to talk to come to us.
they want to get to the post game interviews.
Like Ladarius, he's scouting right now. He's trying to figure out who his next opponent is.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out who he wants his next opponent to be, and we'll see. We'll see how it develops.
Hey, Tristan, since we can hear you listening, can you quickly pull Ladarius aside and ask him who he wants to play in the finals?
Ooh, wait, hold up. I need to lock in.
Okay.
This is kind of nuts.
Hey, LD,
Oh, shoot, so you're low-key up.
In the finals.
You're up, Marsh.
I mean,
He should. If he's smart, he wants Zach Marshall.
but I don't want the easy route though.
Damn.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I want the
Now you got two of us. I'm telling you.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
everybody at home.
That
watching,
rook.
I did not do that by accident. I was trying to walk.
All right, bro. All right, bro. It's not
Tristan is everywhere. He is everywhere.
He's really running this show. This is his broadcast. We're just happy to be here.
The game has turned though in front of us, Robert.
Oh.
The game has turned a little bit.
Yeah, but there was an opportunity there that was missed. I mean, a good idea, but there was a better move. And look at Zach.
This is
Uh-oh.
duo right here. I feel like this.
Is everyone watching this?
Look at
one?
the-
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Look at the time, by the way, Casa.
Yeah, this is
He bugged.
He bugged.
Yeah, he just
Tap
bugged.
in.
yeah, it's going to be a real question to see if checkmate can be executed with such limited time. We'll find out.
Yeah, Zach has been quite fast in the time scrambles. Unfortunately, he's down a queen for just a few pawns, and now the rooks are off the board. But yeah, he's the one who's down the clock, Casa.
Yeah, it's going to be whoever flags who, essentially.
Uh-oh,
You can win by
here comes the
time.
black king as well. I feel like Zach will be good at bullet chess.
You can stalemate,
He moves
though.
very quickly.
You can do that.
Nah, it's a wrap.
Finish it.
Wait.
Hey, you better think.
Finish him.
Hold on.
You can still. Now
Oh,
we good.
oh,
Gonna get his
here he
ass.
goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's showing some good technique now.
yeah, he knows exactly the place to be.
Oh,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Point
Yeah, that was
8 seconds remaining.
Queen right there.
that was impressive. Cornelius just walked him down to the corner, made sure there was no stalemate. Very impressive.
Absolutely
Wait,
not.
Also, it looks like Zach is wearing a Donovan Edwards t-shirt, which is sick. We haven't talked about that at all.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Will, bro.
We get one more game in.
Oh yeah, he does. He does.
One more game, we out of here.
Not going up to
Dang. Well, we now know our two finalists in the champions bracket. It will be Cornelius Johnson joining Ladarius Henderson. I think well earned, Casa. I mean, it honestly is just awesome to see them, the camaraderie, the fun that they're having. Tristan literally listening to the broadcast as he's playing, which whether or not that's against the rules, that's for another event and another person to talk about. But we know our 2 finalists in the champions bracket. It's Ladarius and Cornelius. Goss, at first glance, who's your favorite?
Man, Ladarius has just been really consistent the whole way through. I think his board vision has been just incredible, like seeing both sides of the board, basically making really good decisions. I also was just very impressed just now with the way Cornelius walked down Zach. So, executing a checkmating pattern with less than 20 seconds left on your clock is not an easy thing to do. So I'm going to give Ladarius the slight edge, but Cornelius has some very legitimate punching power.
And Zach will take on Donovan in the 3rd place matchup. And then here in the consolation bracket, we have Dale Chesson taking on Tristan. I think both these players have improved throughout the day. Tristan listening to the broadcast, stalemating instead of focusing on victory there, but still getting the job done. And Dale, that was a clean sweep, 3-0 against Joey. I really do think that Dale, with some more practice and play, I think that he is an improving player.
Yeah, it's funny. It's really a matchup of personalities too. I mean, from what we've seen in this event, I think Dale is the silent assassin. He takes the lessons, he plays the games, he learns, he makes some adjustments. And Tristan has been very audacious about it.
Well, we'll see if he can deliver a Chesson lesson to Tristan, but that is after the break. But before we do head on out, and the players also get to enjoy a break themselves, we just want to give a quick shout, because whether you're a fan of the Wolverines, or dare I say the Buckeyes, or maybe even a Crimson Tide bandwagoner, there is much more college chess out there. The school year may have ended, but the Collegiate Chess League never sleeps. We return with the CCL summer season on July 14th. Don't miss the Collegiate Bullet Chess Championship, Bughouse Championship, weekly arenas, and much, much more. To follow along with the CCL summer season, use the command CCL in chat. Well, we have a Dookie, that would be Casa and Yale and me. So I don't know if those squads are showing up, but we know Michigan is here to play. We have the finals and the 3rd place matches of this event when we return in just a few minutes.
Confusing one. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is a bit difficult, I can say.
What do you think? I thought that you didn't solve it for a second. Good job. So I'm going to show you some puzzles. You're going to have 10 seconds to look at the tablet, and then I'm going to take the tablet away, and you're going to have to give me the solution. Okay. You ready? Sure. All right. Mate in 5, white to move.
Okay.
You got it. All right.
Yeah. Queen G6, Knight F6, Bishop G7, Rook H7.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Good start. Okay.
Queen
That was
G6.
quicker, yes.
Queen G6, Knight E7, Bishop F8, Knight D5. No, wait. Where's...
If you go Knight E7, I go King H8. Bishop F8, Bishop H5. Yeah, that's not working out.
Okay, Queen G6 has to be the right first move.
Yes.
Bishop. Knight F6, Bishop E7, Rook H7, Rook F7.
That's right. Yes. Very good.
Okay. So it's Queen takes G6, FG, Knight E7, check, King H7 or King H8, Bishop F8, and then Bishop H3 or H5. Wait, Bishop H5 must be played, yeah, not Bishop H3. Bishop H5, and Knight G5, King H8, and then Knight takes G6. Is that 5 move?
So you said Queen takes G6, F takes G6?
Knight E7.
Knight E7, okay.
Yes.
We have Knight F6 here.
Oh, Knight F6.
Knight F6, King H8.
Oh, then Bishop F8. Yes.
Bishop G7. Check.
Oh,
King
King
G7,
Rook
Rook
H7, Rook
H7,
F7.
and then
Okay.
Rook F7 mate.
Wait, but Knight E7 is not checkmate?
Let's see. Knight E7, King H7.
Bishop F8. Bishop h5.
Bishop h5.
Knight g5. Wait, do I have a knight on g3? F3.
You do have a knight on f3.
So knight
yes.
g5 check. King h8. Knight g6.
So what if I go king h8 first instead of king h7? Bishop f8.
Bishop f8. Oh, yeah, it's
bishop
not weight.
h,
Yeah,
h5.
then bishop h5. Then knight g6, king h7.
Then
yeah,
king
that's not
h7
weight.
and I
Yeah.
pick up the knight.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
On the
And we return to Blitz Champs, Michigan style. This has been a fun, entertaining session of chess between these gridiron folks from Michigan Wolverines football team. I'm Robert Hess alongside me, Casa Corley. And Casa, we are down to the championship matches and the third place matches in both the champions and consolation brackets. I think the two players who find themselves in that championship match, they really deserve it. Ladarius Henderson and Cornelius Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, Ladarius has been just excellent throughout. His board vision has been incredible. And Cornelius, I think there's a reason he got the folks together to play some chess, because he knew he was kind of good at it. So just a really, really interesting finals matchup.
Yeah, I do think that in this matchup, Ladarius, I think he'll be the slight favorite. He's been playing very quickly. He's also showing great technique, finding checkmates, instructing his opponents. When Donovan had a discovered check to win his queen, he saw it and let him know after the move. And then in our third place matchup, we have Donovan taking on Zach Marshall. Zach was slighted by Ladarius. I don't think he really meant it that way, but they were having some friendly ribbing. But I think that both those players would like to end the day on a high note.
Yeah, Donovan had some good moments as well, and so did Zach. They both executed some good checkmates early in the event. Going to be interesting to see where that goes. That I'm unsure about, frankly.
Yeah, no, that one is a bit of a toss-up, and it will be fun to see those two play. And while we have the champions bracket, we also have the consolation bracket, and Dale Chesson will take on Tristan Bounds in the finals of this side of things. And in the third place match, Joey Velasquez will take on Roman Wilson. And Casa, I think we just have to say it out loud. We know Tristan is probably listening right now, and he probably will be listening during his game, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. That's all he wants to do, and it's distracting him from the chess.
Hey, I think this is a battle of personalities on and off the board. Dale has been this kind of quiet assassin, learning from his loss earlier in the event against Ladarius. And Tristan is letting you know he's winning and letting you know when he's losing. And it's going to be really, really fun to see this develop. I think he is the fan favorite here.
I think Tristan's calling his family and friends right now. He's like, look, I'm on TV. I'm doing it. I'm winning some chess games. And there's Zach right behind him.
Let him know. Let him know. Look at that. It's like looking at yourself in the mirror, but different, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
same,
how do I look?
But different. Come on, Tristan. We know you're listening. Eventually, you'll hear us. You got to focus on the chess, though. Oh, the dub is up. Well, you got to turn that upside down, because that should be an M for Michigan. But either way, Casa, I feel like a little bit more focus will be required in this next matchup.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, again, Chesson has showed us an incredible checkmate. We showed you earlier this double discovery checkmate. He's kind of brutal. So I don't know how much Tristan's going to be able to get away with when he's playing as Dale.
It's going to be fun no matter what, and that's what we're here for, is to have a great time with these players. I do think that they're showing great chess. So we're having a good time. It's a friendly environment. We're joking. But one player who has not been joking is this man on the screen in front of you. He's been locked in from the start. Ladarius, he is just saying, I am coming here to win this BlitzChamps. He's new to the team, but it seems like he's not new to chess at all.
Yeah, I really, really would love to see how this goes down, like in the locker room a week from now. I know there's going to be some bragging rights here, and Ladarius might have them.
He would like to end the day with a match victory against Cornelius. Cornelius has organized this all. I mean, he has really been a star both for the Michigan Wolverines football team. We mentioned his 160 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Ohio State University. So if he can add a BlitzChamps trophy to his mantle, that would be excellent. And he loves chess. He brought this team together for this chess event. But Ladarius says, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the nicest guy on the planet. I don't care if you're the reason this is happening. I'm here, and now it's my tournament to win.
I'm curious whether Cornelius is going to hear Ladarius give him any tidbits during the game. Ladarius was felt confident in his last matchup. I feel like this one they're going to be a little more moot than in previous moments.
And we just watched Cornelius tiptoe with his king and queen delivering that checkmate. I mean, he clearly has studied some chess. He's been playing chess for a while. He loves the game. So if Ladarius makes an inaccuracy, some kind of blunder here or there, I do feel like Cornelius is the player in the field who can really capitalize. So the games are about to get underway. It seems that we have Donovan Edwards and Zach Marshall. They're starting their game. But we will, of course, for the majority, focus on Ladarius and Cornelius in the Champions Bracket final.
Are you all logged into Bounce?
So am I good to
Yeah,
start?
I think I'm ready.
I'm not ready.
Both like them.
Wait, do you see the game?
You can like move around too.
I love that the people that we can hear are not the people playing.
Right. And while we have it on the screen, we do see Donovan and Zach going at it. Donovan has a nice space advantage going on here. His pawns in the center. He's castling quickly, doing all the things you'd want someone to do early on in the opening.
Yeah, and going after Zach's queen with knight to c3. The queen goes back, so both players understand what's happening. Kaz, do you think they could send us that T-shirt? I want one of those.
I would not mind at all. I wouldn't mind one of those shirts.
Instantly skipped.
And we're getting word that Joey had to run, so he has defaulted his match against Roman. And I feel like they're all distracting each other in the best way possible.
Right. I actually really like this h3 move by Donovan, just stopping knight g4 ideas, giving your king escape square. Seems to know what he's doing here.
Yeah, and rook c8, a very natural move, just trying to get his rook close to the center. And b3, I think both players are off to a good start. But let's change games here, because while we'll try as best we can to wrap around, keep going to different matches, the match that I think we should focus on is the one between Ladarius and Cornelius. They did just start, so if we get our bird's eye view for a moment, just to show you that multiple games are underway right now. It seems that Cornelius Johnson, I was about to bring us to that game, he is taking advantage of a mistake from Ladarius Henderson. Cornelius, you don't see it, we see it. He's bopping his head. He is feeling the music, and this position, it's unbelievable for him. He's just grabbing pieces left and right. Let's just go back in time. First of all, he played a Philidor. He threw his pawn up to f5. This is clearly something that he has worked on. And then this knight dropped in the center after the queen trade. And he took the next knight. Casa, he's grabbing everything.
I'm really surprised. And he's bopping to he's beating him to a soundtrack, which is the definition of disrespectful. So he is feeling himself right now.
And he's not even slowing down. He is up so much material. Let's do a quick instant replay. Knight takes c3. He sees all the tactics. Double exclamation point. A brilliant move because, based on what happened in the game, pawn takes knight, bishop takes with check. That wins the rook in the corner. So Cornelius, I mean, he is just playing with force in this one. And Ladarius on the back foot.
Yeah, the only question for me is whether Ladarius was maybe going to get some counterplay somewhere, and whether Cornelius is going to allow a ton of checks to his king. And again, Ladarius is someone who's come back already. Look at that. He's grabbing that bishop on a1. It is not the first rodeo where he's come back from being down material.
Yeah, no, these players, they do bounce back. They do have chances so long as they're not getting checkmated. But it does feel like this white king is in grave danger, especially Ladarius is pushing his past, Cornelius is pushing his past pawns. But Ladarius' king will be in trouble if these rooks come down barreling at it. So I love this comment here. Real Cam Taylor, go Cornelius. Thanks for those TDs against Ohio State this year. Yeah, he had 2 of them.
Huge TDs in a game that ultimately got them into the playoffs. So no stranger to being clutch.
Yeah, and he is just going after Ladarius' king. So the king, it's scuttling. It goes over to c1. It's run away. Don't bring this rook in with check. That's the one thing you have to avoid. Look where your opponent's pieces are guarding. And oh gosh, Casa, beautiful play.
I'm not going to count Ladarius out until it's over. He has come back from worse than this. I see 2 bishops on the board for white. I see opportunities, but it does look extremely dire. And Cornelius is doing a great job of marshaling all his forces.
And for Cornelius, I think he's the toughest opponent that Ladarius has faced today. That's why they're in the finals. And look at this. He is just mopping up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, check to the king, check to the bishop. You can't defend that one.
This is what I like to call clean up on aisle 5. Clean up on aisle 5. There's a lot of, it's everything must go situation right now.
People talking about the fix. Hey, there's no fix here. Come on, don't be saying things like that. These two are just, they're friends, they're teammates, but right now they're competitors. And it looks like for Cornelius, he's up a rook and 2 pawns and a bishop, although that bishop's about to go. But then the rook is going to gobble some more.
There was actually a checkmate in 2 pattern there that would have been extremely difficult to find with knight d4 check and b5 mate. We probably won't have time to show that, will we? But
I show it. You mentioned it, I'm going to show it.
Okay.
Oh, that is sick.
Yeah, that is dirty.
Kings on the rim are dim. That's how the expression goes. Right?
So yeah, again, this game is not over to me. The clock times are nearly identical. And you have a situation where, again, Ladarius does not go away easily. We've seen it before. We're 1 piece captured away from it being a much closer game.
Yeah, there could be a blunder. Bishop's long-range pieces. You don't want to place your rooks on the wrong squares. But Cornelius doing the right thing, bringing his king up into the center. It's the end game, so the king can be used as a weapon rather than just hiding and stowed away, avoiding any danger. And I just want to note that it looks like Zach Marshall is really in charge in his game against Donovan Edwards. And then Tristan Bounds in trouble against Dale Chess. Dale is super impressive right now. And I think Tristan may be playing a little bit worse because we're not focused on his match.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, the Silent Assassin, I predicted that one. I mean, Dale had really shown his mettle since the first round. I will say, when you have a king, and like Cornelius does in the center here, and you're playing against a bishop, you want to keep that king on the opposite color squares of that bishop. So just look to keep that king on that black king on dark squares. That, I think, will be really, really important.
Such a good point, because if this bishop on b7 could go to the dark squares, that's how you get in trouble. But no, the bishop's in the light squares, and where it just went to, you see the question mark pop up, and we'll see if Cornelius shows us why.
I like that he's stopping here to figure out what's going on. And look at that. I think he landed on a move he can be pretty satisfied with. Just trying to collect and trade some pieces.
Yeah, and you take a rook and you win one back, and that's good news for the side that's ahead material. Cornelius well ahead. He has an extra rook and 2 pawns, and look at him go.
Oh, look at this! Look at this! He is styling before it's over. This is like when you're 10 yards before actually getting the touchdown, and there are no defenders in front of you. This is what Cornelius is on right now.
all of football learned from prime time, but I think we do have to see a Cornelius touchdown dance if he does in fact go on to win this event. And
is there a stalemate alert going on right now? There might be a stalemate possibility. Okay, crisis averted for the time being.
That king doesn't have the corners, and the rook was covering the b file. The only available square was a2. But look at him; he's going away from that. He's just taking material. So Cornelius looks like he is getting the job done.
I'm very curious how Cornelius will elect to win this game. Is he going to try ladder mate? Is he going to try a queen and king mate like he did in the previous round? We'll find out, but I do not see a resignation yet.
No, they're talking about it. Like, they're talking about resigning. And Ladarius is, a good chess player, so he knows maybe I should just throw in the towel. And Cornelius say, no, you should play it out because I might lose on time or stalemate you, which is true.
Uh-oh, I'm getting very, very nervous with this knight coming closer. Oh!
Will he find it?
Pausing, and he found it.
Yeah,
impressive.
That's nice.
Game one, not yet. Yeah, I'm not losing the game.
And look at it. He's calming himself down. He's like, just one game, right? One move, one game at a time.
That got crazy.
and Ladarius just said, nah, I'm not losing. So he's going to come back with a vengeance.
And you see Cornelius like, let me see the stream. He wants to talk to us. It sounds like they all just want to watch the stream, but he's playing great chess.
Yeah, no, we appreciate both your guys' games. If you guys are checking the stream right now, and so that was a very, very interesting affair. I think Cornelius, he's got it's not over yet. Ladarius has been a beast throughout the event, so you got to stay locked in.
I mean, Tristan Bounds locked in right now on his opponent, Dale Cheston's king. That one turned around in a flash. Dale has the white pieces. He is in trouble. He was doing really well. But check this moment out as we dive into their game as Dale is down to 24 seconds. I feel like the clock has been his biggest kryptonite. I mean, look at this. He went F3 and D3 check spotted.
Oh, that is a beautiful discovery check. And man, that's what we call a cold shower.
I mean, damn near.
Yeah, and it's going to be checkmate in just a few moves. But I'm worried to say anything. Tristan might be listening.
Yeah, let's hold off before we get too descriptive.
And Dairy Bomb says Tristan wants fame, not game. Hey, why not a little bit of both?
Yeah, why could you have the best of both worlds?
That's exactly what he wants. Oh, look at him. He's just grabbing pieces. Is he going to find some sort of sequence? No, he's just taking everything.
Well, this is what happened the last time, and it resulted in a stalemate. So we'll figure out whether he's actually got. See, he likes to collect, but at the end of the day, at some point, checkmate wins the game. So we gotta lock in and actually finish it off. We don't need all of those pawns.
But Dale is 5 seconds remaining, and it's true, Joe Bruin. Tristan is a known stream sniper. 18 seconds for black, 4.3 for white. I mean, he's locked in, but almost too locked in. He's got to move quickly.
I still got all my pawns. Dude, I'm cool for that. I'm cool for that.
Oh, it's coming right down to the wire. Oh!
He got it. He got it. Oh, Dale, you could see the disappointment on his face. I mean, he played a nice start to the game, and he dropped his queen. You have to look out for those bishop's long-range pieces. Just an instant replay of that one. His queen went to h4. I understand he was nervous. There are a lot of black pieces in front of the white king. White is up material. And f3 was a way to maybe feel like you're shoring up that defense, but walked right into the discovered check, losing the queen, and thus the game.
What I'm curious about is, was he playing with his food like the last one? Because he basically won it on time with 7 seconds left, and I'm trying to figure out, did he see checkmates and he avoided them, or was he really losing control at some point?
Well, yeah, you never want to see ghosts, but Tristan has a 1-0 lead in that matchup. Let's go back to a bird's eye view. We do know one result just because Joey Velasquez, he had to go. He handed the match on over to Roman Wilson. But look at the top left and the top right. Zach Marshall, he won game 1. Now in game 2 against Donovan Edwards, he is up a knight for just 1 pawn. That still has chances for Donovan. And in the top right, Cornelius Johnson. I think we have to go back to the championship matchup. Casa, he's dominating.
Yeah, I mean, again, clutch play. I mean, he's done it on the gridiron, and now he's doing it in this matchup. And I don't think we've seen the end. I mean, just like the last game, Ladarius sticks around. It's hard to really just finish him off. And this game is far from over, I would say, even with Cornelius being a rook up, although he's making all the right decisions. Moving to trade pieces, that's the way to do it.
The evaluation bar is misleading in these positions. It's not as simple as just sky high, white's winning. Look, there's one pawn that dropped off. This knight can jump into the game for black. So there are some chances. And I want to quickly back up. I can hear some chatter from these players. But if we just go here, this was the moment. The knight went to g4. Instead of taking the knight, the backwards hop, he takes an f7. So a fork was available. He scooped up the material. And now as we get back to the live position, we see a game where white has a rook, black has a bishop, white also has an extra pawn in the center. But Kasi, you have to be, I was saying, very careful about long-range pieces.
It's so true. And it's funny because, we have a traditional scoring system in chess where we say knights are 3 and bishops are 3. But honestly, the bishops are just a little bit more valuable than the knights in most cases, and especially when they have diagonals like this to work with.
Quick shout out for Dale Chesson. Can't spell chess without Chesson. He just handed Tristan Bounds a resounding defeat. That was a very one-sided game. So Tristan won game 1. He found a nice tactic, but that game 2, very one-sided.
Yeah, he's been the king of aesthetic checkmates, really. I mean, we've seen now 2 really nice checkmates from Chesson.
I think we can call him the composer, right? He's just giving us studies in his wins. But look at Cornelius. I can't tell if he's genuinely supporting Ladarius or if he's just saying, I want to win. Like, let me get the victory on the board.
Yeah, it's instilling confidence and then breaking it down immediately. That's what it feels like.
Let's see, Ladarius locked in. He has some activity. And I think that's a struggle for some players is when they feel like they're passive, they just try to lash out. But that pawn on a2 was a potential loose one. The rook was guarding it for now, but just wanted to make sure that it would not come under fire.
Look, this rook on e2 doesn't have a ton of real estate. I mean, it does now after knight d5, but it didn't have a ton of real estate before that. And let's not forget, Ladarius is staying up on the clock, even though he's down on material, which could be a factor soon. So we'll see how Cornelius handles his time here.
It's what Cantney always loves to say. The clock is the 17th piece. You have to use it as a weapon. And Cornelius drops that bishop in enemy territory going after a pawn. I think that Ladarius would be smart to move quickly, right? He just needs to, even if some of his moves are going to be mistakes, he needs to speed up and use that clock as a weapon.
Exactly. Bishop takes a7. Sometimes that pawn in the corner there can be a poison pawn, but fortunately, white's bishop is not totally trapped. But you can see that's kind of what Ladarius is trying to do, is limit that bishop on a7. But Cornelius playing e4, very, very good decision. Challenging that knight, potentially freeing his bishop. And again, Ladarius creates more threats. This is Ladarius's game. Even when he's in trouble, the game continues. It's like he just doesn't go down easy.
No, I mean, he is a fighter, and he's also coming up with really good ideas, instructive ideas. b6, trying to trap the bishop. It's like he knows some of these important themes, and now he's trying to work on executing it, putting it all together. So the rook came to c2, bishop c5, check to that king on g1, and Cornelius is burning some clock. So as we look at the game, white is well ahead. You have an extra rook and 2 pawns for just a knight, but look at the clock, the time that is burning from Cornelius.
I love Cornelius's decision though to go king f1, bring that king towards the center. When you're when the knight you're in front of when knight is 3 squares in front of you horizontally or vertically, it's hard to get at you easily. So now this knight is not going to bother you for a while, we'll see what happens here. But 57 seconds and counting.
And knights are the trickiest pieces. And they're shushing their teammate who's saying that no blunders.
Was it 2-0? Bro, come on, Dono.
It was Zach Marshall who delivered a nasty checkmate, by the way. So another nice checkmate. But this move a5, great move by Cornelius. Knight b4 though, throwing in some challenges.
Again, 40 seconds and counting. This is not going to be easy to win with such limited time. If he steals this one, Ladarius does, it is a totally different ball game.
Rook c4. What an excellent move. It's provoking this kind of move, which would hang material. So Cornelius is laughing and fixing his camera angle, but he has to focus on the board. He has 33 seconds left.
We've seen Cornelius checkmate quickly, and so he's one of the few players in the event I actually wouldn't have concern even if he has to mate with 20 seconds left.
And he saw the threat was knight e3 with a fork. He takes the knight that was hanging. 25 seconds for Cornelius, and he was right when he said you shouldn't resign, because I think that it's possible that Ladarius, it may be a 50-50 toss-up on who's going to win this game because Cornelius does not have time.
Yeah.
If that B pawn gets to the promised land, I do think Cornelius can checkmate even with less than 20 seconds. But it's really comes to down to that.
And he goes for it. He gives up his rook, and Ladarius gladly takes it. Now it's about trying to cause some problem, pose a problem. Play a move like that. He does it.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's going to take some time for Cornelius to figure this out.
Yeah, no, so right now, 29 seconds for Ladarius, 13 for Cornelius. Oh, look at that. See, Cornelius is moving quickly now. He understands the dynamics at play.
Yep, run that king. It's a 10-second gap. He is closing the margin, and he lost his bishop. But look at this. This is great play. Great play. Oh, 5-8. What a move, too.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
That was just well done. Perfectly executed from Cornelius Johnson, who gives a fist bump. He is relieved, and he earned every bit of that victory.
That was as clutch as it gets. I mean, he basically, again, Sherman marched that king all the way to c6, dancing on the light squares to avoid checks from the black bishop, and then got it in checkmate. Very, very impressive. Ladarius is on the brink.
And it just shows some experience, too, because he was determined to bring his king in, was Cornelius. He did just that, and it was the perfect plan to get the win. A reminder that Joey Velasquez, he had a run, so he defaults the match to Roman Wilson, who gets third place in the consolation bracket. And then the other matchups continue. Zach Marshall has been in charge in the third place match in the champions bracket. And then Tristan Bounds is locked in 1-1 battle against Dale Chesson in the bottom right. Both sides have won a game. Dale with a very nice checkmate in game 2 after losing game 1. So that's anyone's matchup.
Yeah, it is a really, really fascinating position, too, the matchup between Tristan and Dale, because it's just a messy position, a lot going on. Really, really fascinating position. If we could get to that one in a moment.
Yeah, of course we will focus once Ladarius and Cornelius get back to their chairs. They're taking a break. That's a mutually agreed upon stretch of the legs. Just take a breather because they're playing a lot of chess. But Tristan, it looks like he just dropped some heavy material, and now he's down a queen.
Yeah, and now Dale is like, what just happened? Am I just winning all of a sudden? Because he was a little concerned. His king was in the center. He'd been down on time. And now he's comfortable.
That's honestly good for you, because I was bogus as fuck.
I'm going to try to go back to see what happened here. His queen was under attack, and he moved his knight back and then lost his queen. So maybe something happened before that as well, but he did just drop his queen. And I have to say, Dale has really impressed me throughout today. I think that his chess has improved game after game, and I think with continued play and some study, he will see his rating go up quite a lot.
And shout out to Roman, who I believe is in the chat here, asking if he gets third. Shout out to Cho Roman. I do believe you secured third in the consolation. Is that correct?
That is correct. You get that match victory over Joey there. And Roman, hey, we want to see you playing more chess, buddy. You're doing well. We definitely support your chess. So, and yes, Nordovich, Tristan is hilarious. But right now, finding a tactic on F2, winning back some material.
Hey, third is not good. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you showed up, you fought, and your teammates are actually pretty good as well. So. But I respect it, and I think that energy is what Harbaugh is going to be looking for going into the season, right? So it's good to compete in all aspects, even in the off season.
For sure. And let's head on back to our bird's eye view as Tristan tries to come back from his material deficit in this game. We do still have 2 other matchups that are underway, and they're both 2-0 matchups. So Tristan, he needs to speed up down that material. But in the top left, Zach Marshall, he's been on a mission in this 3rd place matchup in the champions bracket. I think we should show this game because he may lock up 3rd place any moment now. He is up a wall of pawns and a rook and a knight. So, when Ladarius said, he wanted to play Zach, when I see Zach play like this, I don't know if anyone on the team wants to play him.
Yeah, Zach is really dominating right here, and the only question is it's really a question of when more than if. But we'll see. We've seen turnarounds before.
And King D8 doesn't even take a bishop. His first attacks his rook. The rook takes the pawn to F7, so black is up a ton of material. So we'll leave Zach and Donovan to this. I think we are likely to see Zach win. But let's head back to our bird's eye view because Ladarius Henderson needs to win. He must win. A draw is not good enough. That hands the championship title to Cornelius. And look at the game we have on the screen in front of us in the top right. We'll pull that up on the big screen because this looks to me like a Vienna game. It is. And I feel like Ladarius has truly studied chess. Like the way he plays the Sicilian, the way he's playing the Vienna, his tactical awareness, helping his opponents after the fact, learn about it. Yeah, he knows what's up.
You know something, though? He did bring his queen out very early, and it might come back to bite him right now. He went for a very quick queen f3, queen takes f7 checkmating pattern, and Cornelius saw it. And now you can see Cornelius sitting back in his seat, understanding the terms and conditions of this game.
Yeah, let's rewind, get an analysis board just very quickly, because there was the right idea, but 1 square short in the execution. In this position here, he went d3, attacking the knight, but d4 hits the bishop and the knight at the same time, so it was more forceful, and black has to respond, and in a position like this, the black king's not castling, as in trouble. So the players, they're talking...
Did you?
Oh,
I forked him twice.
Yeah, and Cornelius said it's a lock. It's a lock. So I'm inclined to believe him.
Oh.
Ain't nothing you can do. There's nothing, bro. There's nothing.
Oh.
There's nothing you can do right now. There's actually nothing.
Okay, I got you.
Ladarius says there's nothing, but then comes up with nice fighting moves. That's why I appreciate about his game. Bishop g5 is just a nice resource.
I can get out of that barely.
Not over yet. It is not over yet.
Look at Ladarius. He's cheering himself on. He's his own biggest fan. You have to be in this life.
Now, Robert, imagine that knight on g3. We just pick that up and put it on e7. And there could potentially be a bishop h6 checkmate.
Yep, that's true. So sometimes that does work. Here, what's the material count? Black is up a rook and 2 pawns, but the black king is in an iffier position.
I love this bishop f6 move that Ladarius just played. He's bringing his remaining pieces in. He's trying to get at that king on f8. This is not over.
No, not at all. And you can see the players locked in right now. I mean, they're focused. A lot of chatter going on. Their teammates having a good time. But you can tell they both want this game.
Bro, you can block it. He lost in my no, bro. He lost on time, bro.
Dang, bro. You're on the attack right now.
Good game, man.
Yeah. Cornelius senses the shift. The energy is different.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many ideas for white here. And we saw Cornelius get down on the clock last game. I mean, right now they're about even on the clock, but I do feel like for now, white's on the offensive.
No question. Bishop h4, knight f6. All right, so he's trying to secure some material, but it's a risky decision now because he might be shedding too much to get that rook.
Ladarius just sees tactics. He doesn't always have the 100% precise execution.
Because you just lost 2 pieces, but like I don't know, it's yeah.
That is chess education right there. He's saying that was decent, but you lost 2 pieces for the rook. and I think
I saw
Ladarius
the review,
realizes it as well.
He forked it, but
No, these two can play. Like seriously, have shown that they have a great understanding of so many different ideas in the game. And I mean, look at Cornelius, just quickly hopping his knight out. Watch out over here, and he, as he said, 2 minor pieces is worth more than a rook. And another fork.
Bro.
forked it again.
Bro.
Yeah, these
Save me.
Oh my God.
this is
This hurts.
appropriately could be dubbed a nightmare.
That one hurt for sure.
Just taking everything. I love how Ladarius, he's just laughing so he doesn't cry. It's one of those moments where it's like, what else can you do?
Like, again?
Yeah, and unfortunately for Ladarius, even a stalemate won't save him because we know that 2.5 secures victory. So unless there's some massive turnaround, which Cornelius is not essentially acting like it's going to happen, we know it's he's wrapping this up.
Yeah, he just noticed an attack on his rook, so he was worried for a second there. But he's getting a Hail to the Victor ready, the Michigan fight song. You know, he wants the whole marching band to be in for this chess victory. You know, he knows how to play up to the crowd, and there are many people watching, and he's played some great chess today.
Yeah, and I must say, he took it up a level because we both said that Ladarius was probably the favorite going into this one just because of how he played in the previous rounds. And Cornelius raised his game, period. So, very, 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 very different dynamic.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the featured chat now, singing their praises, losing 5 straight bullet matches at 1 a.m. Maybe another time, you know.
It's funny, when you lose several games in a row, I always have this rule for folks where you need a governor. You need a governor. You know, a certain amount of games, or if you lose that in a row, you just take a break, walk away, you avoid tilt. Oh my goodness! Are we gonna get another checkmating pattern here?
Let's see.
He flipped the script.
They're flipping the script crazy.
He flipped the script, bro.
Nope. Still a decent move, but, you know, there is better.
Stay low.
Yeah, it's raps, bro.
I love how talkative everyone was, and now they're silent. It's actually scary.
Man, like, what do I even do?
Actually, wait. I was actually looking good.
You got that.
Yeah, this is
Tab right there, and then I'm gonna just.
White is at Black's mercy right now.
Yep. And he's trying to bring the king in, using that as the last piece to help deliver the mate. He sees the pattern.
Might be over.
That's it right there.
Wow. Very impressive.
Let's go. Let's go. Free fees. I'm on the stream. Yeah.
We got a shout out.
Brimming ear to ear.
Yeah, this meant something to him. He organized it, but he didn't want to be just the guy who makes it happen. He wanted to be the winner at the end, and he is.
Bro, I really did think
I didn't think I was gonna win.
Bro, those blunders.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the winner at the end, and he is.
What was really impressive to me, though, is every checkmate pattern Cornelius executed, he brought in the king. Like, every time. What was really impressive to me, though, is every
do you hear us? It's like really disconcerting to hear ourselves on like 3 different phones at the same time. You hear us? It's like
he's like, oops, the audio.
I just love the time that they all had today. I mean, this was really fun. Hey, there's still more chess going on. Dale Chesson and Tristan Bounce. Tristan was the one who was listening to the broadcast while playing. He's the last player, along with his opponent Dale Chesson, competing. So credit to these two, as Zach Marshall got 3rd place in the champions bracket.
And what's wild is, you know, he's definitely down a queen right now, so there's some adversity he's dealing with, but this game is not over yet. Tristan has been known to, you know, get some sneak attacks off, and look at this, Exhibit A.
Mm-hmm.
This 95 move.
Yeah. And Tristan, he does look focused right now, and Dale has been focused all day. Oh, you know, Tristan just, you know, always looking out for us, Casa.
Yeah, we're showing everyone love, but he's trying to make a comeback here. It might actually happen. We're waiting on Chesson to respond right now.
And what Dale does is great for players who are trying to improve. He spends his time. He's always calculating. He's not rushing. The problem is in this time control, this format, 0 seconds are added, no increment. So the fact that he's down under 1 minute and 30 seconds, that gets into that scary territory where he's going to have to speed up at some point.
Yeah, but Tristan's also doing what he needs to do. Like, if you're like down in the position, you want to at least be up on time to give yourself that opportunity. So we'll see.
And look at that move from Dale. The rook left the first rank, so in comes the queen, and that is what we call a skewer.
Yeah, queen f1 is a slicing move right there.
And Dale just grabs the rook in the corner. He is on a mission. He's undeterred. He takes it, and, well, Tristan just throwing pieces at the black king and hoping that something works.
Dale's about to get under 1 minute, and the question always persists. How are you in time trouble? Can you checkmate in time trouble? Frankly, the way Cornelius did, right? Cornelius was consistently, had these mating patterns on lock, and we want to figure out if his teammate Dale Chesson has it right now.
Yeah, and, well, this is trades, and trades do favor the side that's ahead material, and unfortunately for Tristan, defended a piece but lost a more valuable one for just a pawn. So a huge material lead for Dale, but he is down to 53 seconds, so he should just start mopping up.
Yeah, rook takes f2. That is a power move right there.
Hey, I got 6. Jono, I got him.
All right, so this king is king on b3 is feeling a little airy. It's walking out there, and we'll see.
There's about to be a big problem over here.
Yep.
That's game. The last game of BlitzChamps is done.
And look at the relief from Dale. The relief on his face as soon as he won that game. He just rocked back in his chair, understanding the job was done.
Yeah, and Tristan shakes his head, tunes right back into the broadcast, as one can expect. Hey, Tristan, you did great. Dale was improving all throughout the day, so it's all right. You played really well, and I'm sorry it didn't go your way.
And you were by far the most entertaining.
I had him early, and I blundered.
And you were by far the most entertaining.
Hey, can I get on this mic now?
All he wants to do is hop on the mic.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel.
Well, we see the players collecting their belongings, and for Cornelius Johnson,
I won the first one, folded the second one, and then got beat thoroughly the third one.
That was a very succinct description of what happened.
Yeah, I wonder if he actually got caught up in a mouse slip too, because he on move 10 in the last game he actually went rook f1, and I wonder if he was just trying to drag the king over to castle because they put the rook on f1. I'm wondering if that was a mouse slip.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there for Cornelius Johnson, who takes the crown. He finished in first place ahead of Ladarius Henderson. Zach Marshall in third place. Had a really nice final match against Donovan Edwards, the running back, the star running back for the team. Dale Chesson, he ends up in fifth. Well-deserved by him. He faced off against Ladarius to start, and I feel like with a different pairing, he could have ended up in the champions bracket and maybe done a little bit of damage there. But Tristan, he was super entertaining throughout the day. We had a lot of fun chatting with him on a little bit of a delay, but he ends up in sixth place. Roman Wilson, who joined the chat on Twitch, he takes seventh, while Joey Velasquez ends in eighth place. The only defensive player, he doesn't rep that side of the ball.
All right, that was that was, I mean, at the end of the day, we had a really good event. I think it honestly shook up mostly the way we thought it would, and I'm curious who is going to, have bracket room.
I think we know the answer, that it's going to be Cornelius who has those bragging rights because he takes down Ladarius in the final. I feel like those two really demonstrated a lot of skill, some great understanding of certain patterns and certain tactics. We just saw in that last game, Ladarius was down material, but he gave up his bishop to get a fork in, and then Cornelius quickly said, good idea, but I get 2 minor pieces for rook and pawn. That's good for me. So clearly very aware of the dynamics of the game. So these players, I mean, they did a great job. I think that it's just the start of many wonderful matches that they'll take part in, and they got football coming up, but hopefully chess is a part of their season as well. So we're going to just take a quick break, because when we return, we'll have interviews with the players. You will not want to miss that. I'm sure many of them will join us. So stay tuned, everybody. Kos and I will be right back, joined by the Michigan Wolverines football players who took part in this BlitzChamps chess tournament.
Chess.com's game review recently got a major update. Here are 4 key notes. At the end of each game review, you will now see a summary of the game from your coach, your performance rating for that game, and a quick grade for you and your opponent in the opening, middle game, and endgame. We've added a new classification called miss for when a move fails to take advantage of an opportunity, but it is otherwise a sound move. We've also changed the definition of blunder. Now a move will only be considered a blunder if it loses material or allows a checkmate. Coach will now draw arrows and highlight squares when you hover over or click on the highlighted words in the move explanations. This should make move explanations easier to follow. Finally, Coach's explanations will now reference specific pieces and threats in the explanations, making move explanations much more intuitive. The new game review experience is available on Chess.com right now.
Oh my goodness, knight d8? Whoa.
Bishop g5 with mate.
No way!
It has to give it.
Mate! You voted mate! Chance, rook f7. Whoa, no! No! No!
So the players, they will be joining shortly. They're just getting everything set up. They're having a grand old time in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Cornelius Johnson, probably the happiest among the bunch. Casa was really a great demonstration of chess from him. He deserved to win, and we can't wait to have him join us and hear his thoughts.
Yeah, it was a really fun event. I think it's also really cool to inject some of the dialogue and some of the healthy trash talking and everything that was going on. It's not something we necessarily get to see every day, and so just to get the back and forth was just really, really fun as well.
And we got word that they were saying that Coach Harbaugh was supposedly outside. I don't know if that really was the case, or they're just messing around. But that would be hilarious if he was joining and maybe taking on Cornelius in a game of chess.
Hey, I'm sure even in the off season, competition is important, right? So whether it's gridiron, chessboard, it's important.
Yeah, no, this competition was a lot of fun. The players still in good spirits, and I think they're ready to join us and come on and talk to us. So, hey, Cornelius, Ladarius, all the guys, Tristan, we know you were listening the whole time. I got to pick people because otherwise you'll talk over each other. Tristan, we'll get to you eventually, okay? We'll get to you. Don't worry, buddy. But let's start with Cornelius. You won the whole thing. Did you organize this event just so you could show off to your teammates?
I really didn't. I just tried to organize this event because I know a lot of us at the facility had the chessboard set up, and we were all talking about talking trash about who's playing each other throughout camp. And then I just thought it'd be a fun opportunity to make a connection with Chess.com. So,
I think we lost their audio for a second there, so hopefully we can bring that back up. Sorry about that, everybody. But as soon as we do, we will continue chatting with them. Casa, you didn't even get a question now.
Yeah,
now they're back.
We might be back.
Troubleshooting live, Casa.
Yeah, no, I mean it was really cool. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, we can hear you guys.
All right.
Can you hear? Casa, you got something to ask?
Oh, yeah, sure. So it's funny. Cornelius, are you the dude that normally is typically rallying the guys and organizing stuff? You're obviously you're senior on the team. You've been obviously the guy that rallied folks around the chess today. But is it something where you feel like in a leadership role, being bring people together, something that you're really value and are consistently doing?
I mean, that's a good point in terms of bringing us together, flying around. Me personally, I feel like I was really thinking about on the I get it.
Did y'all guys watch that championship game? Did y'all see that? All three of them?
Yeah, we watched. Yeah.
Were y'all as surprised?
Yeah, that was crazy. The way it started off, it came out hot and just never looked back.
Yeah, I was I was so surprised. I was probably the most surprised one. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought CJ was Cornelius was fast. I realized he was fast. But before this, I thought he was fast.
Well, Ladarius, let me ask you something. You're new to the team, right? You were at Arizona State, the captain there. Has chess been helpful, bonding with the guys? Do you feel like, you walked in the locker room and now you immediately have something to connect over in a hobby?
Oh, it's usually not really bonding because I just win so often that people get pissed off. It's usually the opposite of bonding. It's usually how I get hated. But now it is bonding now. We can bond over Cornelius being good now. And
Being good. We're being honest. We're being honest. The only person that took a game off of CJ was me.
And we all know, as y'all saw, probably 9 games with Tristan.
The only person that took a game off of CJ was me. So you got swept.
Yeah, I did get swept, and I want to apologize to all the people that were watching because I know they're riding for me. They were like, "Man, Darius is about to run this table," and I did it.
So I have another question for you guys. So, and I guess anyone could take it, but are your personalities like, you know, what we saw when you guys were playing against each other? Some of you were talking trash, some of you were quiet. Do you think that translates to the field at all, or do you feel like this dynamic was a different one than what you normally would be like on the football field?
You know, I'm a quiet chess player because I got to focus. That's how I usually get a lot of my wins. But on the field, you know, I like talking trash. The way to go as an offensive lineman. If you don't, then what are you really doing out there? So.
And what about you, Tristan? You agree with that, or you?
He just beat him on a real board. Let me see that. Let me show the people what we're talking about. Let me show the people what we're talking about. This is the board right here, gentlemen, and he resigned. You feel me? He quit. So he can have the 3rd place on Chess.com, but Chess.com not real life. You understand what I'm saying? It's levels too. This is the board. This is the pieces I took. This is what he got. It's levels to it, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, world, levels. You can have the 3rd place.
If Chess.com's not real, can you give us those green pawns back? Like, come on, you can't take that with you after, you know, you're saying that the results that just happened.
You see,
I'm just a Donovan fan.
I want you to come. Now you want to talk stuff. I want you to come to my world. I want you to come to running back stands and read the defense. I want you to do that, all right? Who take these linebackers and DBs?
Respect. I would love to come into that world for a second.
You see what I did to them on a real board, and I got the chess.com.
Hey, Donovan. Donald and Perch. Go get you some.
Zach, where did we get that shirt? Because that shirt is sweet.
Buy it at the Emden. He gets a little bit of proceeds. Valiant. They work with us. Right. Valiant, you miss.
All right, let's. I think we should really have a moment where you guys organize a game between me and Magnus so I can take him down. Tell that Ladarius Henderson is coming for his elo. We're gonna do this. If I win, me and him swap elos.
Are you going to be chess boxing or just playing chess? How you see this going?
No. Whatever. Tell him whatever he wants to do. It can be a blitz. It can be a 30-minute match. He can come to Ann Arbor. We can play right here.
What are we talking about?
Magnus.
Yeah, you're not. He's gonna 4-move matrix.
If I win,
he's gonna 4-move matrix.
I'm gonna fry liver him.
We saw your fried liver in the
live bet it. We live bet that. I would like to put my future everything.
Can we go back to that? That fried liver earlier was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was nice. So we recognized that you'd actually studied up a little bit before executing that. So respect to you on with the fried liver.
Shout out, got this.
I was about to ask you, Ladarius. So you've been studying. It feels like you have your openings quite well.
Oh, I definitely have been studying. I try to do the Vienna on when I'm white. I try the Sicilian defense when I'm black. I try to fry liver people that aren't that good. So
whatever.
All right, so we actually do have some featured chat questions for you, and I think you're gonna like some of them. So I guess the first one that I wanted to get at you guys with is, would a Michigan versus Ohio State University tournament be something you're interested in? Would you guys like to play against some of the OSU folks, assert the dominance? you had on the football field. You also won on the chessboard, or what's the word with that?
Honestly, I wouldn't. I don't even want to communicate with them at all. But I mean, they would like to.
Okay.
win at something. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
And you're not concerned. You're not concerned about the bulletin board material. You know, you don't want to. Some coaches are like, hey, just do the work in the off season. Don't put some bulletin board material out there. You guys are comfortable talking your talk and letting things ride.
Respectfully, LG
Yeah,
and
let's
myself were not even on this team last year when
let's talk on the field, bro.
So, we're gonna work.
Let's keep it on the field.
We'll get the ball. We'll do it again.
Wow, I like the determination and the dedication. And well, where'd Cornelius go? Because we have a question for him from the chat. So I want to get Cornelius back here.
60 getting an interview by your guys up at Chess.com. Do they want that? Do you want 6 right now?
We'll bring him over here. Bring him over.
Hey, 6.
Yeah, I love this. Hey, Cornelius, we got a question for you. That's cool. I know you're busy. You're a star on the field, now on the chessboard as well. But the question that we have from Greg J. Chess is, do you feel confident that you'll also win the BlitzChamps NFL editions once you're playing them?
Ooh. Yeah, I can take my talents to the next level in the chess arena. I'll be confident.
You're such a bot.
I mean, who's on there? Like, I remember seeing they had like Larry Fitzgerald, like Chidobe Awuzie. What other stars they got? Like Eric Armstead. Like, there's some high-end guys. So hopping in the chessboard with them.
Larry's like damn near 1,300.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald. Like, I'd be willing to play him on. Trying to play him in chess.
Yo.
I played the bot, but it's not the same.
I'm in the. He wants. This is Roman. Hold on, put him on speaker. Yo, say. He says, "Is this Robert?"
Hey, what's up, Roman? Hey, Roman, how are you feeling after that clean sweep, the match victory?
Robert, why are you chirping me like that on the stream, bro?
Yo, you did great. Honestly, you're doing great. You're new to the game.
He's back. He's back. He's taking steps back now, Roman. He was chirping you bad.
Wait, first of all, Tristan, you were listening. You were breaking all sorts of fair play rules by listening to the broadcast while playing.
I wasn't listening to any of the chess advice. More so, listening to myself talk trash in the feedback.
Very
I would
well,
like to say
well.
that I really gave that stalemate. I had the opportunity for the mate, but I just wanted to take every piece possible and make him play the longest game I could. Yeah, when I was up 2-0, it didn't matter. I just wanted to.
Thank you guys for the
Thank you guys. That was awesome.
Thank you for participating. It was super awesome, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. That was, as far as interviews go, one of the most legendary ones that I've ever been a part of. And it was the Michigan football team. And what were they playing for? Pride, glory, but also $10,000 that was donated to Tough, the Uniform Funding Foundation, on behalf of the Michigan Wolverines team. So what does Tough do? They provide underserved sports teams with uniforms, equipment, and mentorship. Football, basketball, soccer, over 4,000 student athletes are receiving necessary equipment and mentorship. So it's amazing to see these players come together for a chess event, but really for their community.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we saw a really, really, really interesting event and for a good cause. And I think we saw that great football players can also be really effective in other arenas as well. And I'm sure as they prepare for that regular season where they're essentially set to kind of get back and maybe even further than they were in the playoff than they were last year, it does not hurt to have their competitive juices flowing in all sorts of activities. So they showed it off today.
Yeah, and I appreciate them taking the time, having so much fun. It's clear that they just enjoy each other's company, and the game of chess is impactful and meaningful to them. So we appreciate everyone who played in the event. And I want to give Roman Wilson a shout out. I feel like, Roman, new chess player, but he is going to improve for sure. So I'm not walking anything back. I wasn't trash talking to begin with. I love that they were trying to start that dynamic, right? Because they're like, "Oh, you come to my turf." I'm like, "I'm not stepping foot anywhere near you. If you guys can tackle me, I am as far away as possibly can be."
I would love to be there and just see it up close. And I ran track back in the day. I'd love to race some of those dudes just to see how what it would look like, because those are supreme athletes there at Michigan.
Yeah, no, for real. They are one of the best teams in the country. They made it to the college football playoff. They look to get back there. We even heard that from some of them when we asked the question, what do you see yourselves doing this year? They're like, let's just solve it on the field. Like, we're not going to talk about Ohio State. And they know better, right? As you said, sometimes you say something, you do a little bit of trash talk, your teammates, the coaches, they're mad at you. Just ask Jimmy Butler and Grant Williams, right?
No question. Yeah, no, I mean, as far as, this BlitzChamps event and, what we have in store in the future, I think we're going to have, potentially other good teams play against each other. We basically had this all Michigan matchup today. It would be really cool to potentially get, rivals off the board, like Michigan and another school. I think there's a lot of potential to have some great inter-school rivalries here in many different respects. So really fun to have what we had here, and I hope we build on it.
Would love that, seeing chess alongside all sorts of sporting competitions. There is the Collegiate Chess League. Use the command CCL before you get on out of here, and you might want to learn more about that because there are more events coming up. And what's coming up tomorrow, it's not a chess tournament, but it is a very important thing that you will want to watch. Danny Wrench will lead the charge for the state of Chess.com tomorrow. That's June 29th. It's a Thursday. It will be at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So on that note, Casa and I are going to sign off. It was an absolute pleasure being joined by the Michigan Wolverines football players. Some fantastic ideas, some interesting sacrifices, some beautiful checkmates. And when all was said and done, Cornelius, he was the deserving champion. He organized the event and he came through. He wins. We'll see if his production on the field is even better than last year. We are rooting for all of these players, but we will say goodbye to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in, for being a part of another excellent chess event, and we'll see you next time here at Chess.com.
Peace.